6 o'clock, good morning, live from the Circa Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. On Friday, the Tennessee Titans and All-Pro defensive tackle Jeffery Simmons agreed to a 3-year, $105.8 million deal. It has $100 million guaranteed, which makes him the highest-paid defensive tackle in NFL history. Simmons will make $35.3 million per year, and he'll stay in Tennessee through 2030. Simmons will turn 29 next month and had a career-high 11 sacks last season, which also ranked first amongst all defensive tackles in the NFL. The Men's College World Series is headed to a winner-takes-all Game 3 tonight as North Carolina and Oklahoma each won over the weekend. First pitch tonight is at 6 o'clock on ESPN. In golf, Wyndham Clark goes wire-to-wire at Shinnecock Hills to win the U.S. Open for the second time and his first time since 2023. Clark finished 4 under on the weekend and took home $4.5 million in winnings. And in the World Cup, the U.S. on Friday shut out Australia 2-0. They officially win Group D to advance to the knockout stage. The U.S. will play Turkey this Thursday at 9 p.m. at SoFi Stadium. It'll be their final group stage match. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cranked and ready to roll on a Monday, June 22nd in the Music City. Rhett Bryan in for Will Bowling, who will return tomorrow on Ramon and Will. And Big Ramon is right here riding shotgun like he always does.
Right beside you, Rhett B. Good morning, man.
Good morning. Good morning to Justin Hawkins with an excellent update and always making things happen behind the glass.
Good morning.
So, hey, I'm going to start with you, Justin. You about to be a papa.
Mm-hmm.
How was Father's Day for you yesterday? I mean, yes, the baby hasn't arrived yet. It will be very soon. But, I mean, how was that for you? I remember those things.
I do too, man. The lead up to it is awesome, man.
Yeah, it was pretty chill. We didn't do anything. We didn't really do anything for my wife for Mother's Day, so we in turn didn't really do anything for me for Father's Day. You got to play equals out here. We're not gonna play the favorites, even if he's due a week from yesterday.
I would have hoped.
Well,
we just chill. We wanted to enjoy this last few moments alone.
Yeah.
Because
everything's changed.
It does, man.
Everything is about to go crazy.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah. Next Sunday, unless anything bizarre happens, she is scheduled to be induced on Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday night. So I probably will not be here at all next week.
Yep.
And then the bizarre thing would be she's kind of felt some cramps and stuff like that. Maybe some pre-labor contractions. So if things go to the due date, it's supposed to be this Thursday. But we'll see if anything happens a little bit premature there, and he decides he wants to come early than the induction date on Sunday.
Okay, so you're in the final countdown.
Yeah. So you know how Will felt last week at the beginning of the week, so nervous, whatever. I woke up this morning nervous. I was like, oh my God, what is about to happen?
You got your plan of action ready? You got stuff ready to just grab and go?
For the most part, yeah. It's just a couple toiletries and stuff like that for the hospital bag, but his bag is just got to be his clothes thrown in there. Everything else is really ready to go. It's just kind of
you already have the bag already ready.
That's kind of what I'm like. It doesn't tell me he's that nervous because I would have had that stuff done weeks ago.
About a month ago.
I would have just bought duplicates of what needed.
Yeah.
Toiletries. Let's just grab this and go.
Let's just grab it.
Oh, it's time. Let's go.
Grab bag.
I've always heard that once your water breaks, it's not necessarily you have to go immediately because her doctor has told her that just wait for contractions to be somewhat closer,
more frequent.
So as soon as your water breaks, okay, we'll clean the mess up, and then just kind of get her comfortable, and then here a little
clean
bit
up
later
on aisle 6.
Yeah, right.
What's just crazy to me though, because we adopted our daughter, so we didn't go through all of this stuff, but just how miraculous those things are because, this is the window of time where the baby is lining itself in the birth canal to come out into the world. It's just wild how all that works.
Yes, it
is a miracle, really.
I'm shocked by it, too, because I'm glad her doctor, your wife's doctor, you guys' Dr. Hawk, pretty much told you, hey, when the water breaks, you don't have to sprint because you don't. But I will say, when the water breaks, like chaos ensues too. Like that's the other side behind
because
it.
There ain't no going back. I mean, it's happening now.
My wife's, both of her situations were induced by a football game, the Tennessee UCLA game in 2008 for RJ. She's watching this and says she's screaming. She's going back and forth. Keisha's a very much introvert, but when it comes to sports,
I've not seen that side of her, so
wait till you see her. Okay? She loves sports. She loved watching me do sports, the same with our boys, too. And it started back in, like, the 08 era. Well, it was before then, too. She played sports herself. But my point is, she was yelling, screaming at the TV. I think we ended up losing the game. And, like, that pretty much induced it with RJ. Like, just out of nowhere, her water broke. Now, we were close to the due date, of course. And then the second time, we were in Pittsburgh and with Miles in 2012. And she was at work. She was working as a bank teller at PNC Bank. And she says she's sitting at the teller desk and just all of a sudden, Hawk, you mentioned the mess, like just whoosh, the water breaks at work. She's embarrassed. I'm in workouts. No, we were at OTAs that time of the year. Of course, it's like right now, this time of the year, I'm in OTAs. I'm thinking to myself, what do I do? Because I technically missed RJ's birth, technically, because he had while we were landing in Knoxville at the time in 08. And I'm just thinking to myself, wow. And I almost, as a dad, too, felt bad because I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, man, like I miss RJ's, but I'm going to be here for the entire one for Miles. Wrong. Okay, we're there. Water breaks, Hawk, as you said. I go pick her up. We're at the hospital. And you're right. There will be a waiting period. You're going to wait. Like,
hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait at that point. Well, Miles also had the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck.
Oh.
And we're in there, and I'm ready to go to receive it. I'm thinking to myself, I got to get my scrubs on. I'm ready. Like, sorry, RJ, I missed yours, basically, but I'm going to
make up for it, right?
I'm going to make up for Miles. Wrong. Okay, when they found out the umbilical cord, which is why I get also, we just want a healthy baby. That process means a ton, okay? Like, and I get that now because there's so much that can go wrong. So we're in there and she's about ready to go, and they found out the umbilical cord's around Miles' neck, and they just ran her out of there. And I'm talking about in a hurry. I'm sitting in the room just like, what do I do? Like, nobody's around. Her mom was on her way up, and I'm in there with RJ basically still at the time. He's young, and they whisk her out and they end up having to do an emergency C-section. So I technically, to be fair to both of them, I missed both of their births. So there's a win in that, but you're right. After the water break, I think chaos, and then it's like hurry up and wait. But I would probably be more nervous for you, Jayhawk, than you would, because it seemed like y'all been conditioned.
Yeah, maybe. I just worried about the induction because
the induction of the Hall of Fame. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
because the whole process. So she hasn't been. I don't even know how graphic I don't want to get too graphic, but she hasn't been ready, or he hasn't been ready to come out yet at all. So they had to schedule an induction date on Sunday. I'm worried that because he hasn't been ready yet, that he's going to take not just Sunday into Monday, but could go into Tuesday and be a long labor process. But we'll see. We'll see. She's had some of these little cramps and contraction pains, whatever, the last couple of days. So we'll see if he's ready. We've been going on some walks. He's been doing some exercises. We're gonna push him out. We're gonna get him.
There we go.
We're gonna push him out.
You're coming. Come on.
Get down and lay down.
You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
Yeah. Get down and lay down, baby T-Hawk. That's cool stuff.
So how was Father's Day for you, Biggie?
Man, it was good, man. I mentioned it on Thursday. We decided last minute, like, we got to go out of town because this will be my first time not being around either one of my boys for Father's Day. It's been me, Keisha, Miles, and RJ's been gone since like early June, and we hadn't seen him other than FaceTime and stuff like that. So Thursday, we was like, screw it, we're going to go down and visit him. He's in Florida chasing his dreams with baseball, man. Yeah. And he didn't know we were coming down on Thursday night anyway. And what was cool about how we planned it, just a last-minute trip, which, again, we're blessed to do that. We ended up getting a chance to watch him pitch. And that, to me, was by far one of the best Father's Day gifts you can get, was to plan a trip, not really knowing what you're getting yourself into other than seeing him. And we got a chance to see him pitch on Friday. He did really, really good, man. He's with this group down in Florida. And like I said, it's been gone the entire time. And I was, of course, hard eggshell dad, just like, oh, I'll be all right. I don't have to see him. I was glad we went down and saw him. I was, man. We had the entire family together after he pitched, because he's just assuming this pitcher-only role right now, which is new to us, new to him too. But he's kind of really taking it on really cool. So I was glad to see him embrace it, because again, when you only pitch, you only do one day and then you're done. Good, bad, or indifferent, that's your session, and the next session is probably about 4 or 5 days later. So it was kind of cool for us to catch him on his pitching day when he's been gone for, man, almost 20 days at this point. And I missed his last 2 sessions, which he's done really good in too. He was in Carolina, then he pitched again in Carolina, and then he pitched again in Florida, which is kind of cool. And, man, he ended up going 3 innings, which the team that they have, they don't really make him go like 6 innings. They usually get 3, and then they bring in the reserve. So they're in a recruiting phase, so everybody can see them, and the people who are there to evaluate them. But he ended up going 3 innings. Gave up 3 hits, no runs, 6 strikeouts, man, and he kind of crushed it.
I was going to say, that sounds pretty dang good to me.
The hits were all singles, too, so guys that really just chipped it real quick into a little spot, but he ended up doing his thing, and Miles was there. We got it's cool now having this one-on-one time with the baby boy. We were able to just be around him, watch him kind of move a little bit and just see, and later that evening after he was done, we got him off campus where he was and was able to go sit down at a dinner. So that was real cool.
Excellent.
I was glad to be around him. We sat in the airport good bit of yesterday, though. It was a friggin' plane from Houston that was late as heck getting to.
Always Houston.
It was, man. It was just late getting in. I was like, screw Houston, man. Why they always got something going on? Always got something coming out of Houston. Like, if there's a hurricane, it's going through Houston. If there's a system of tornadoes, it's going through Houston first. And somehow it affects everybody else in Tennessee and over, man. But it was kind of cool being around family. And that was one of those decisions where, I'm going to be honest with you, in my mind, like taking a break, it's just one of those things like, we'll be all right. Or you just don't want to spend the money at the time. I was glad we spent the money on the flight and hotels this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, even, you catch yourself just being frugal, like, I don't need this. That was a good family moment this weekend.
Well, here's the thing. The memories you would have missed out on, okay, you wouldn't have known exactly what that was.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have been in it.
That's true.
But you can't put a price on it.
And that's what I said. Because, again, getting those last-minute flights in today's economy was a little different. And I think we literally booked the last room in the hotel we were in this weekend.
Okay.
There was a wedding party there. And they said this group booked 80 of the 100 rooms in the hotel. I don't know if I've ever seen a group book pretty much 80% of one hotel. So this was a big wedding party. It was a group from like New York, whatever, that was down in Florida. 80 rooms all booked in one hotel. But it was really freaking cool to be around family this weekend. That was one of those warm my heart dad moments. I actually sat down, we were having dinner. I said, y'all want to know what? And I never really get this emotional. I was like, y'all want to know what? I was just like, this is one of those fulfilling dad moments right there. I'm glad we were all together. So it was kind of cool, man. I really appreciate those moments now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I had
what about yours?
I had an extended visit with my daughter yesterday, and that was just as good as anything I wanted. Spent a lot of time with my dad over the last 3 or 4 days. Did some projects around the house with him, and took orders. Like, what do you want me to cook? He's like, I want barbecue chicken, and so anyway. But yeah, it was very good. I was glad to be with my dad and be with my daughter, and yeah, that's what it's about to me.
It is.
It's just good. It's just really good.
Speaking of that, I ended up talking to my dad yesterday too. We talk on relationship as a whole lot better, but my big dad, my granddad, called him late last night when we got back. I was like, I cannot not call Big Dog, okay? And I ended up calling. We talked. He was super excited. All the grandboys and kids that called him and stuff like that. And he's at that age now. He's like, all right, grandson, pray for me. He's like, I got to go to the heart doctor tomorrow. I'm hoping for some good news. I was like, Granddaddy, you going to be all right, man. Everything is cool. He's like, yeah, I hope so.
Now, this is the granddaddy, right? This is the guy that had all of the entrepreneurial things.
Absolutely. And kind of laid down how we are as young men. Me, Ron, my brother, all of us, man. And he's 89 years old, had a little bit of a health scare a couple weeks ago. But he's good to go, and he's super excited about his heart doctor visit today, man, which he never really says stuff like that. So I was glad to talk to him, man. Big Weary Dyson, man.
Well, I'm glad that you spoke to your dad. I'm glad that that's doing better.
It is.
And, man, you know this already, but you're blessed to still have your grandfather.
89.
You're blessed.
War veteran. I mean, just
I wouldn't give for another conversation with either one of my grandfathers, for any of my grandparents.
Absolutely.
Any of them.
Absolutely, man. But yeah, it was a good moment yesterday, though.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what was a good moment as we're going to continue with Ramon and Will this morning is a good moment for Big Jeffery Simmons. Jeffery Simmons, a multi-year contract extension, contract number 3 in his career that he has earned. And it is big bucks. We'll get a reaction to that. And just kind of where does Jeff stack up in the National Football League currently and with some of the all-time greats, because he's heading into that territory seriously. All of that and more as we listen, and you listen, to Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone. It's Ramon and Will rolling through the first hour of 4 hours to get this Monday started. I hope you're doing well. Little thunder boomers moving through the area there, so be careful out there on the streets. Rhett Bryan filling in for Will Bowling, who returns from his honeymoon tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Might already be here. Well, we better hope he is here and he don't get a delay because this rain is serious this morning, right?
Some thunder and lightning. And
it's dark.
Precipitation. It is dark. You're right.
It's dark, man.
Absolutely. Ramon Foster right there. All right, so as promised, let's talk about the big news of last Friday because we were all off for Juneteenth when this broke. And the Titans have signed Jeffery Simmons to a multi-year extension, the club announced on Friday. And this one, like his second contract was significant. But this one is a history maker. He's the first defensive tackle in NFL history to get $100 million guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
But Ramon Foster, he earned that.
Every bit of it.
And did a lot of it on his, this is going to sound, I don't even know how to frame this properly because it's a team sport, but he's done a lot of it on his own in the last couple of 3 years of the Valley has been deep.
Yes, he has.
I mean, him speaking about how much he had to be a leader last year and the relief almost in his voice early in this offseason about because Robert Saleh and crew are here with some tenured experience and being able to take some of that off of his plate. But, I mean, Ramon, these numbers don't lie. Right. First 7 campaigns, his first 7 seasons, 99 games, 97 starts. And you got to remember, he only played in 9 games his rookie season because he's coming off of the ACL and the pre-draft workouts.
Sure did.
19th overall pick in 2019. 383 tackles, 42.5 sacks, 27 pass breakups, 8 forced fumbles, 6 fumble recoveries. Let's see how many. 275 quarterback pressures. 65 tackles for loss. He is a 5-time captain, a 4-time Pro Bowler, a 3-time All-Pro, and 3-time Walter Payton Man of the Year for the Titans.
He's in it. He's in that window, Rhett. You mentioned him doing it by himself, and to your point, like he's not doing it by himself, but there's not been a whole lot of help. Like Danico Ultra is probably one of the last big dogs that he's had that's been dominant for him in that sense. Like it's either been young guys or older guys or just a rotation of fellas that have been Tennessee Titans surrounding Jeffery Simmons. And then here's the thing, though, too, with Danico, Jeffery was still growing up. Like the body of who he was there, but the skill set of him being this dominant wasn't at that point. Like, yeah, he made some points. There's the Josh Allen play, of course. You have those. You have the moments in which he's caught touchdowns. He's just been a force. I told you back in 2020 when he's still a pup. He's 3-4 years in at that point in time. Just how dominant the guys I played with mention him in the game. When you hear people speaking about a guy at a position like D tackle, the effectiveness, how they play, how they jaw back and forth at you. And
your guys are saying, like, watch 98.
Watch 98.
Watch 98 now.
It just continued on, and you see how people approach him. Like, last year's dominance was a buildup of that over the years. You mentioned him coming off the ACL, and had it not been for the ACL, Rhett, he top 10 at that point coming out of Mississippi State in his career.
Oh, yeah.
Is that, and I know he had the outfield stuff, of course, that had to get cleaned up, and Jeffery's been a model citizen since. Exactly.
Once.
He's delivered on his promise to Miss Amy, to this franchise, and to everybody else involved. You might not like his attitude he's had back and forth with people in the media, and we've seen that here. Jeffery's not a guy that's going to back down.
That's what I want in my defensive tackle.
Exactly.
That's what I want in my star defensive player.
Especially, here's the other part, though, too. When you're dealing with a team that's been through so much transition that this team has been in under him, Jeffery, that is. Like, in the time that he's been, he has some good moments, but as of late, it's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of losing. That's been the biggest thing I feel like that he's publicly stated more than anything, especially this offseason. Like, man, I want to win. I think we heard it last year when he had to speak up for a team that was young, transitioning from a head coach to an interim head coach, trying to figure out everything that's involved with this team and how he wants to be here. Like, this money isn't a, hey, stay here, be quiet type of situation. This money that he just got paid to make him the highest paid D tackle in the history of the NFL as it stands right now. It's because of the work that he's put in, the dominance that he's shown the world at this position, and just also the commitment to continue doing that. They showed his first-year pictures. I think it might have been Easton Freeze, the first one I saw put this out there.
How it started and how it's going?
Yes. Yes, Rat. And
he looks like a different guy.
He looks like he was formed in the lab. Like, it's crazy that you think of a defensive tackle with this body structure. Like, you knew he was big and muscular, but you never seen a big and muscular lean guy like this.
No, because, well, let's say this, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but ESPN's had him as a top 5 D tackle in the last 2 summers.
It's been there for
They'll do that again. They'll release that list again next month.
Real quick, what do you think top 2 at this point, if not 1?
He's got to be in the neighborhood. I mean, he was 4 the last 2 years.
I don't think he falls lesser than 2.
All right, who's 1? Dexter Lawrence?
Sexy Dexy, Vita Vea. I don't think Chris Jones in that conversation this year. Yeah. Jalen Carter, whoever it is.
Jalen Carter was 3 last year. Jones was 2.
It's Jeff and him.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
And and not disparaging things about Sexy Dexy, but their body types are completely
different.
And the
roles.
He looks like a D tackle you'd think about, old school D tackle.
We're talking about a get up a field, go get double-digit sacks, can run side to side like Sexy Dexter Lawrence. Let me stop.
No, you're enjoying that. I can tell you enjoy it too much.
They see him this. I mean, like this. You're right. I gotta call it.
Come on, calm down.
My youngest man calls him Sexy Dexter. I'm like, and they all do the little dance and stuff now. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, there's a different role that Dexter plays compared to Jeff.
Correct.
Jeff's a 3-down guy. Jeff's a 3rd-down guy. Jeff can be a run stopper, but he's a run disruptor. I look at Dexter Lawrence as a run stopper, run stuffer.
Yeah.
Guy that's going to hold 2 guys. Jeff, you're going to have 2 guys on him, but he still might break through and make a TFL as well. Tackle for loss. It's just a different type of D tackle. Whoever the one is, if it's not Jeff, it's Jeff and that guy, the way I view the top D tackles this year. When that list comes out. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. This is good conversation.
That was a barbershop conversation right there. It's like, who's the top guy?
To your point, just thinking about what his body looks like now, and it wasn't like out of shape before, but I mean, the way he sculpted himself, he looks like if the Marvel Universe put a football team together and he's the star defensive tackle. He looks like a Marvel character. He does, literally. He looks like the Incredible Hulk. It's crazy. So I got to thinking about, like, where does he stack up? We briefly talked about it right there, about where does he stack up currently? Like, he's in the top 3. And certainly if you ask him and his teammates, he's the number 1 D tackle.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's always viewed himself as the number 1 D tackle because that's the way he's driven, that's the way he operates. But I got to looking through some of the greatest defensive tackles of all time, and there's been lists put together over the years. There's one on NFL.com that the late Gil Brandt put together a few years ago. William Refrigerator Perry as his number 31. And you're talking about 29 and a half career sacks on 138 NFL games, Super Bowl champ. And I can understand why he put them on that list because Fridge was legit.
No doubt, absolutely.
And scored touchdowns like Big Jeff has scored touchdowns.
Yes.
Here's one that I've always thought was in the conversation. Leroy Glover. Leroy Glover, man, you talking about, he's NFL 2000's all-decade team, 2000 NFC Defensive Player of the Year. He led in sacks in 2000 with 17 and a half at a D tackle now. Think about that.
That's crazy.
Finished with 433 tackles, 83 and a half sacks, 16 forced fumbles. Well, 433 tackles. Big Jeff has 383 sacks, 83 and a half. Big Jeff has 42 and a half and 16 forced fumbles. He's got 8 of those. Like, the numbers are lining up. And Leroy, I mean, he played for a long time.
Yes, he did. I see it was 13 years.
Bryant Young, San Francisco 49ers, career 49er, Super Bowl champ, 4 Pro Bowls, first team All-Pro 1 time, 1990s All-Decade team, 89 and a half sacks, 618 in tackles, 208 career games. Bryant Young was legit.
And a Hall of Famer, too, now.
Bingo. He's got Haloti Ngata in here. He's got Brandon Williams. He's got Tim Crumry, the former Bengal. And Tim Crumry, there's no telling what kind of career he would have had because he had a really bad motorcycle wreck.
Wow.
But Alex Karras, who was on the sitcom Webster, was an actor. He was in Blazing Saddles.
Oh, big boy, yes.
Yeah, Mongo.
Yes, Mongo. Yeah. Mongo.
Richard Seymour.
I did see that.
Ray Childress, who holds the franchise record for quarterback sacks.
Yes.
He was an Oiler and a Cowboy for 1 year, but he has 76 and a half career sacks. So, see, Jeff is closing in towards those numbers at 42 and a half because the all-time sack leader in Titans history is Jarrell Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Right behind him is Javon Curse, and I think Big Jeff is third, if I'm not mistaken. But Ray Childress, ridiculously good. And then he goes back to some old school golden era. Leo Nomolini, Art Donovan, Henry Jordan back in the day. Dan Hampton, who, of course, Coach Mack coached in Chicago with the Bears, another Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Joe Klecko of Gang Green with the New York Jets. Alan Page.
Yes.
The Honorable Alan Page.
Absolutely.
Supreme Court Justice Alan Page, Hall of Famer. He's got Aaron Donald, and this was several years ago. He had Aaron Donald here at number 13. Aaron Donald will be a gold jacket.
Absolutely.
He's
walking in it.
There's no question about that. He has Geno Atkins in here.
Yep.
Who was ridiculous. You know.
Yes.
You know
absolutely.
already. He's got Curly Culp in here in his top 10, another Houston Oiler.
Okay.
So, another Hall of Famer in this. 68 sacks, 14 forced fumbles in 14 seasons. And, of course, they played less games back then. John Randall, top 9.
Amazing.
Buck Buchanan, Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
That's one that gets lost on some people unless you're an old head.
Yeah.
Buck Buchanan, legit. Cortez Kennedy.
Wow.
Former Seattle Seahawk. And 58 sacks, 568 tackles, 11 years. Played all of them with the Seattle Seahawks. He's got Warren Sapp, top 5.
Jeez.
HOF.
Yep, easily.
96 and a half career sacks, 435 tackles, 19 forced fumbles. All-decade team, 90s and 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Randy White, the Dallas Cowboy.
Sir.
Career Dallas Cowboy. Co-MVP of a Super Bowl. 111 sacks. Had 16 in 1978.
God, dog.
1,104 tackles.
He was just dominant.
Hall of Fame. Here's another one, Hall of Fame. Part of the fearsome foursome for the Rams. Merlin Olsen.
Merlin,
14 Pro Bowls. First team All-Pro 5 times. 62 NFL Rookie of the Year. 75th anniversary team. All-time team. 2 all-decade teams. Pro Football Hall of Famer. Mean Joe Green, number 2.
tough.
78 and a half career sacks, 16 forced fumbles, Hall of Famer, Steel Curtain, 10 Pro Bowls, 5-time first team All-Pro, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 75th All-Anniversary team. And then he's got Mr. Cowboy Bob Lilly as his number 1. 4 defensive touchdowns in his career, Pro Football Hall of Famer, 29-yard sack of Bob Greasy in Super Bowl 6. Is an NFL record, and all-decade team in 60s and 70s. Started every game of his 14-year career.
Insane.
11 Pro Bowls, 7-time first-team All-Pros, 75th anniversary team, Super Bowl. Of course, Bob Lilly's one of those guys that shows up at the Pro Football Hall of Fame inductions, and I don't know what he looks like in 2026, but there's just a few years ago, you're like, dude, he looks like he could still play. He got some silver in that hair, but man, he just looks the part.
No
he just
doubt.
looks the part.
You brought up something I thought that was super interesting. You're thinking about what's next. Okay, it's for Jeff, right? Like, money solidified. That's done. We don't even have to have that conversation if he doesn't have another contract moving forward. You feel me? It might just be an extension. What's next is, of course, winning record, playoff Super Bowl. Okay, like that's I think at this point that's goals that solidifies him as far as his impact on his team and around the NFL. If they can change this thing around the way we think Coach Saleh, Cam, and everybody playing their part will. But the next one though is personal accolades. I heard you mention the Aaron Donald. I'm thinking Defensive Player of the Year. I heard you mention Joe Green. I was like, Defensive Player of the Year. If it goes, it's a 60-play game the way Saleh, I think Coach Saleh said this past week. Jeffery Simmons is going to play 40. He hopes those 40 plays are all pass plays. Summarizing his quote. That's where Jeff takes over and get into that conversation about Defensive Player of the Year for a D tackle. That's the conversation. They've already shown us that Aaron Donald can win it, right? Like, that's the side of it to me in which this defense, the way he's reshaped himself with the power, and he's more lean, and he's more explosive, you'd expect. Defensive Player of the Year, Rhett. That conversation, I think, if we see it trending in a certain way, it would be flagrant if Titans fans and media don't push. And I think there's a push that goes along with this. There is a media push that goes with Jeffery Simmons being in the conversation Defensive Player of the Year.
He already is so known in circles. That Pro Bowl thing, that's real.
Yes.
All pro lists, that's real.
Numerous times he's checked that.
Walter Payton Man of the Year thing. Like, he is a known presence.
And that's what I'm getting at. Like,
right.
yeah.
That leads to those things. Now, let me say this. Winning records, playoffs, Defensive Player of the Year, and God, please, a Super Bowl.
No doubt.
That's a gold jacket.
Yeah.
He's a gold jacket in the future. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, and that's why he got the money he got again, because he's always reaching for the bar.
For sure.
Always. And moves the bar.
He has at this point, because I think the D tackle position, I don't want to say it's going to change. I don't think there's always going to be a standard for what the rules are of playing D tackle, but like the types that teams are going to be looking at, like Jeff, in my opinion, has to be a model for how you want your D tackles to play the game and how explosive they can be. Not that they should be. How explosive they can be. Jalen Carter's in that conversation currently. I think Ndamukong Suh was one of those types of guys. Aaron Donald was one of those types of guys. I'm not sure what this draft class is going to look like just yet, but there's probably somebody in college that needs to play this type of role coming up for teams. And Jeffery Simmons is going to be the guy that that's the tape that they're watching coming into the NFL.
Let's go to the phones real quick. Zach in Bellevue wants to talk about Aaron Donald. What's up, Zach?
What's up, Zach?
Hey, guys. Good morning. Happy Monday. Rainy Monday, but happy Monday.
Yes, it is.
We're talking defensive tackles, and Myles Garrett trade to L.A. completely didn't really change the dynamics. L.A. was already favored to win the Super Bowl. But if Aaron Donald does come back, Moan, what would that be like for a player? I mean, he's been out of the game. I mean, they've had guys come off the couch before, and I'm sure it's rough on them physically, but do you think he'll do it? Is it worth another ring, and how would that process be, man? I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a blessed Monday.
Yeah, you too, Zach. Appreciate the call.
Question, Zach. Is it worth it? God. I know we're up against the break, and this is going to be a long form. We can go back and forth. Let's answer this.
Let's answer the question on the other side.
Zach, I promise you we got you.
Just hang tight. But, let's let Ramon reply and answer that question as you continue to listen to Ramon and Will here on 104.5, The Zone.
Everyone's loving what's happening at Genesis Diamonds right now, man. They got free financing for 5 years where you can make any purchase, pay $0 down, and get 0 interest for 5 years. It's insane. It's not just on engagement rings either. It's also on earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, pre-owned Rolex watches, where you can buy now and pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. So that $5,000 gift comes out to just about $85 a month. And that luxury pre-owned Rolex watch, it starts at about $150 a month. Yes, this is an amazing offer from the jeweler that's always finding ways to bring you more value. All GI certified diamonds are included in this. I'm talking about rounds, princess cuts, ovals, pear shapes, cushion cuts, emerald cuts. Whether you get a $5,000 diamond or a $50,000 diamond, you can spread those payments over 5 whole years. Lab-grown diamonds are also included in this. You get the Genesis value price on everything, where you can pay zero down and spread your payments over 5 years. But hurry, this is a limited time offer. It ends June 30th and will not be extended. Genesis Diamonds are located in Green Hills and Cool Springs. It's Ramon Foster, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, letting you know nobody likes dealing with those issues. Like, it could be a lot of rain that gets into your septic tank and just kind of overflows and back you up. Well, it's a plumbing issue. Hiller can help you fix that, man. Or if you got an HVAC or electrical emergency, again, this is the company that I trust to come over to my house to work on my things, because most of the time you don't know what it will cost you if it'll get fixed right, or if somebody's trying to sell you something you don't need. When you call Hiller, the experts are going to solve your problems quickly, and the price you're told is the price that you will actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises on your bill at all. They've been in business for over 35 years and are family-owned and operated. Their techs are the folks that have come to your house. Very professional, experienced, and trustworthy. Cool part, when they're on the way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time, so you're not sitting around wasting your time for somebody to show up. They believe in 100% satisfaction every single time. Their motto is, happy you'll be, or the service is free. Listen, to learn more about Hiller, to book with them like I do, simply head over to happyhiller.com.
Wrapping up hour one, Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Rhett Bryan in for Will Bowling, who's back from his life assignment tomorrow. Ramon Foster right here rolling with us. The 11-year NFL vet, Vol for life. Titans Radio's color analyst coming soon. Yeah, that is a life assignment. When you go get married, right? That's big time.
I like that. That was a good little addition right there. Will was on a life assignment, man. Most definitely.
So before we went to the break, we had a caller, Zach, wanted to ask you about, we've been talking about defensive tackles for a good chunk of this hour because Jeffery Simmons paid well again and earned again. But he had a question about Aaron Donald. And what if Aaron Donald decided to come back to the Los Angeles Rams, who are already heavily on paper tilted in favor to go a long way and maybe even win the Super Bowl after the Myles Garrett trade a few weeks ago?
No doubt. So, Zach, man, great question. And coming out of retirement can't be easy. I've never done it. When I retired, I was just like, whew, job done. We're good. Like I never thought of coming back. Like even when I took the job here in 2020, August, like the thought process of a team calling me while I was doing the show was just like, yeah, I'll probably pass on it. Like the check would be good, but there's no guarantee in it. That's kind of where I want to start at, Zach. Like there is no Super Bowl guarantee when Aaron Donald comes back. We've seen teams assemble guys before and not be able to go get a Super Bowl at the end of the day. It's one of those hard feats because the entire team has to escape injury. You have to escape the newness of it. Is there going to be a Patriot team to knock you off is my point. Like we've seen these surprise teams show up here and there. Houston's shown up a time or two. Like there's always a surprise team. Heck, the Giants during the Patriots era, like nobody expected Eli and them to do that. They were the wild card years back when they won it. So it's that side of it. No, there's no guaranteeing you're asking a guy to get off the couch who's a walking gold jacket in 3 years to come out and reset his Hall of Fame status. Now, he's young enough in which he don't have to, be at a point to where he's worried about getting in, but that's that side of it as well. Another storyline, does this wet blanket Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald's, and Myles Garrett's chase for the ring? Because I feel like this is a Myles Garrett story. Like Myles Garrett's the final chess piece for the Rams. And if Aaron Donald comes and assists him in it, is it AD's team? Because that's his only franchise. Or is it Myles Garrett? Hey, thank you for helping us get a ring. I almost feel like KD to the Warriors type of situation. And Myles Garrett isn't just a role player. He's the guy. Myles Garrett is the guy. But you got to ask that question, though, sometimes. And more help you can get, the best. But I will look at it and be like, well, did they win because of Myles or did they win because of AD? Like, I know it's just a demonic defensive line if they were together. But that's just the side of it, too. What is L.A. trying to portray? I have that. Then the other part, though, too, is what are you paying Aaron Donald for the 1 year? It can't be league minimum. He's not getting off the couch for $1 million, $1.3 million. He's just not going to do that. Aaron Donald's last year pay was $23 million. He also, the year before that, made $31 million. They pretty much had to convince him to come back, so they upped his pay. They incentivized him, so they paid him over $31 million. Jeffery just got 35. There's other guys in that conversation of 23. None of these dudes are as good as Aaron Donald is currently, okay? Even in a retired state that he's in. So are you willing to pay Aaron Donald $25 million to get off the couch for maybe 15, 20 plays a game? The economics of it, as stretched as that salary is and L.A. is in general. And then the last part, mentally. Rhett, you've been around these dudes. When they're locked in, they're locked in. There's no other way about it. Can Aaron Donald re-engage himself to mentally get back to the guy that he was after playing on the floor with his kids, just lifting, doing dad duties, and taking business meetings? Because that's what retirement is for guys.
Let me say this. If there's ever a person who can do it at that position and come back, it's Aaron Donald. One, he's not terribly far removed from it. And he still posts workout videos. Like, he's still an animal. There's no, so.
But the body.
Yeah.
Taking that hit.
Father Time's undefeated.
Yeah.
I say it like a broken record, but it's true. Here's the other part about Zach's question when he called right at the end of last segment is, on paper, all that looks like a dub. Looks like a world championship.
It looks
I get it. But here's the one thing that you didn't mention. How long, and listen, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it could. Matthew Stafford's back is jacked up, man. It's been jacked up for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. Now, with his income, he can afford all the best resources to make sure he's, whatever. But this time a year ago, it was, he wasn't doing anything.
It was iffy.
So if that has a flare up, whatever you want to call it, with everything he's got going on his back, that right there is the chance of the guarantee of the Super Bowl, which was that was, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. That was a mirage.
Yeah, it was.
Because here's the thing. Behind him, it's Ty Simpson, who still hadn't signed his rookie deal. Oh. He and Fernando Mendoza are the two first-rounders that haven't signed. But crazy. And you're talking about Ty Simpson with, 13 career starts?
13 career starts.
So, anyway, that's where you go, wait a minute, hold on a second. The defense is not what we're concerned about.
That's very true. That's a great point. That is a great point. And again, without Matthew Stafford, and again, he's figured out how to take care of the back. Mm-hmm. But Father Time doesn't rest.
Right.
And if he takes a bad hit, which Matthew Stafford does from time to time, every quarterback takes a bad hit from time to time. The perfect season doesn't exist. It only did once, and that was the 72 Dolphins, is my point. Yep. There's going to be an injury somewhere, and if it's off or not, then what did Aaron Donald get off the couch for? I saw comments like Aaron Donald's young. He didn't have any major injuries. It's not just about Aaron Donald being young and not having any major injuries. Rhett, you bring up Stafford. You bring up what if Puka Nacua? Like who, for a good reason, checked himself into rehab this offseason. Like he's trying to get himself together. Like they got a lot of good parts. And here's the other part too. There are a lot of other good teams in this. The world champions in their division, the Seattle Seahawks. That's a very physical team. They're going to play a physical style of ball. And you got to have your hard hat on each and every week in the NFC West. On their schedule this year, you got to think they are one of those good teams. They're starting off the season in Melbourne, Australia against the 49ers, then the Giants. Then they got to go to Mile High. Like that's a first-place team with the Broncos. Okay? And then
with a defense all of its own.
Like if I could just – you don't run away from it. Okay, like you run to these types of challenges. But listen to this schedule and these teams. So I told you they go to Broncos. Then they got to go to the Phillies. I mean, to the Eagles. Then Bills. Then Arizona, that's a wash. At Las Vegas.
I love how you just dismissed that. Arizona, that's a wash.
That's a wash. You got to call it
child's play. We're good.
We're good on that one. Watch them lose. Vegas Raiders, they'll have Fernando Mendoza. That's all right. That's cute. But then you got the Chargers. Chargers. This is how I used to look at the schedule. Look, the Chargers, they should get that. Well, that's going to be a hard one. Then they got to go to the Commanders. Chargers, Washington. Then they don't get the bye to November 22nd. Then they got Green Bay, Kansas City, Niners, Cowboys, Seahawks, Tampa Bay, and Seattle.
That's what I'm saying. You mentioned about two things right there that are like, okay, they'll probably be all right. The rest of them, it's going to be a battle.
It's going to be which is why I think they're pushing all the chips in. They have to at this point. AD would be a great addition. I'm not going to say he's not.
said F them picks.
Yeah, he did. And that money at this point, too. Come get it.
Go do it now. They're in a now mode, which, I don't know. But if anybody can make that work with numbers with Aaron Donald, it'd be Les Snead. So.
It would be. It's but again, he probably needs about 20. I would ask for $25 million off the couch if I'm him.
Sure.
And I'm cutting him a discount at that point. I don't think he can play because here's the other part. AD coming back into the fold. Jeffrey just reset the floor at $35 million a year. If AD comes in and drives the floor down to $10 million for 1 year, that hurts the D-tackle market. This works against what he's helped build up if he takes less than like $25 million too. It's the economics of it as well.
All right, hour 2 of Ramon and Will is just ahead. We're going to talk about the Titans wrapping up minicamp and then the window that is the 40 days now, less of 40 days, till they break and open training camp 2026, heading towards the season. We'll talk about minicamp takeaways, maybe some training camp battles to watch, all of that. Plenty more, including your phone calls at 615-737-1045. Ramon and Will continues next on 1045 The Zone.
7:04. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. On Friday, the Titans and All-Pro defensive tackle Jeffery Simmons agreed to a 3-year, $105.8 million deal with $100 million guaranteed. It makes him the highest-paid defensive tackle in NFL history. Simmons will make $35.3 million per year, and he'll stay in Tennessee through the year 2030. Simmons turns 29 next month and had a career-high 11 sacks last season, which ranked first amongst all defensive tackles in the NFL last year. The Men's College World Series is headed to a winner-takes-all Game 3 tonight as North Carolina and Oklahoma each won over the weekend. First pitch tonight is at 6 o'clock in Omaha on ESPN. In golf, Wyndham Clark goes wire-to-wire at Shinnecock Hills over the weekend to win the U.S. Open for the second time and first since 2023. Clark finished 4 under for the weekend and took home a purse of $4.5 million. And in the World Cup, the U.S. shut out Australia Friday 2-0, and they officially win Group D to advance to the knockout stage of 32. The U.S. will play Turkey this Thursday at 9 p.m. at SoFi Stadium in their final group stage match. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Bringing news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hour 2, Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Brett Bryan in for Will Bowling, who returns tomorrow from his recent nuptials with his new lovely bride. Ramon Foster alongside this morning on a Monday, and Justin Hawkins back there making it all happen behind the glass in the control center. We've been talking about Jeffery Simmons this morning, and because we'll retouch on this, but I was reminded about just how life-changing NFL contracts can be for someone. And if there's anybody in the world that will make other people's lives better because of this, it'll be a Jeffery Simmons.
For sure.
Because his Give 'Em a Reason Foundation he started a few years back does a lot of work here in Nashville and back in his hometown in Mississippi.
Yes, he does.
And it's not just the stuff that you see in socials and reels and things that are like he does some real work. And that's who I'm as happy for, if not more happy for this situation, because he will pay it forward.
He will, no doubt.
But I'm reminded of this because this popped up on my timeline on X, and I'd forgotten about this. But, the Bears' backup quarterback, Tyson Bagent. Tyson was one of those that he made a name for himself at the Senior Bowl a few years back, coming out of a small college. And last August, they signed him to a 2-year, $10 million extension.
Yeah.
And he got really emotional at the podium because, obviously this is the middle of training camp. He said, "My dad is my right-hand man." And he said, "My dad, we didn't come from money. My dad didn't have running water till he was in high school."
That's crazy.
So, and that's $10 million, which is a lot of money. Now, yes. Jeff has got 10 times that guaranteed in this, but right. that's a bigger career and career numbers for him than being a backup quarterback. But just the impact, I guess, is what I'm trying to make sense of in this, is because Jeff he'll make it count for people in this community and in multiple communities.
For sure. And he's doing it here, too. His golf tournament, I think he recently just had here as well. To give him a reason, I've gone and joined in on one of his charity events at a night, too. Jeffrey puts on a good ceremony every time he does this, man. But he's passionate about it as well, because Jeff's the guy you can tell come from that small town, has a small town mindset, and wants to give back because the life that he's living was only a dream to him. And when you get that opportunity to live this type of dream, man, and myself, even on a smaller scale, live it. Like, you're like, wow. Like, you really have to pinch yourself. I'm glad you bring that up, too, like, as far as Jeffrey being able to do stuff with this money. If one, for his family. He made a promise to his mom, to his sister, to his kids, to his family that, hey, just trust me. And that goes a long way, man, when you're basically the man of the house and you're pretty much leading the way with trying to create a new legacy for your family's trajectory. Like, that's huge. And I think you see and hear that when Jeff talks, man. But the other part, though, too, I just want to bring a light. I'm not sure if you've seen it as of late, but these athletes, by saying a certain number of millions isn't enough for them. Like, I don't think you'll hear Jeffery Simmons say that type of stuff. I've seen it as of late. So one guy I played with him, Joe Hayden, is on social media making this round like $50 million. I
saw that over the weekend, and I thought about you.
I'm like,
now, there's reality in how much a tax bracket is.
100%.
And if there's a state income tax in the state that you're playing in.
No doubt.
Whether that's your home team, whatever, or you're going on the road and playing and you get hit with California or New York tax.
No doubt about it.
That is beyond my calculation because, I'm not good at math, but I've never made that kind of money or even sniffed anywhere close to that. Super. But you're right. To hear someone say that out loud, and I'm like, what about your lifestyle? I understand you want nice things.
Yeah.
But if you live somewhere around your means or below, you're talking about generational wealth that no one will ever have to worry about.
Exactly.
Money.
It's comical to me because I wrote an article years back where I call the NFL like fantasy land. And I think when we get in it, sometimes the way we act, the way some of us act, the way some of us treat people, the way some of us treat money, the way some of us talk about money, sometimes you lose reality. And it's a fascinating approach to a world that has no idea what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've lived in that world and made money, but like to say I made close to $100 million is not true. You know what I'm saying? And like, I get the more you make, the more expenses you get, the different lifestyle that you also accumulate because of those expenses. But as a former athlete myself, NFL, NBA player, shut the hell up. That's all I got for you. Just shut up. You guys are talking about $50 million. Some people ain't even got $50 in their bank accounts, and you're talking about $50 million isn't enough after taxes. Man, dang that. That is an unattached awareness to what real life is, and we're all blessed, and I get why people don't feel sorry for athletes that go broke. And hearing and watching those guys speak like this, it's been like a 3-week drop of players recently saying $100 million ain't enough. The hell you mean $100 million isn't enough money?
If you invested that, like doing the right things, you could have your money making money for you and never touch the principal. Right? Never.
Easily in those type of situations.
I think about, and there's such a difference in some ways to guys who are self-made business guys versus athletes or movie stars, whatever. I think about interviews I've heard with Sam Walton of Walmart and with Warren Buffett in particular. Lived in the same house, ranch style, 50s house, same old car, same clothes. Now he has a commercial jet. Hey, that's the difference.
You choose that.
But he's like, that's what separates the men from the boys.
Yeah, no doubt.
Being able to fly anywhere, however,
anytime.
And right. The rest of it, you'd never know he had the money.
No doubt about it. But I just look at the athlete side of it. I'm just like, you guys don't understand the position that you're in right now. But the give him a reason foundation that Jeff has. He's pouring into it. You see the effect of it as well.
He's going to make it count.
And he's going to make every single bit of it count, man. I just saw that, and I was just like, at some point, I'm going to mention this on air.
I saw that, too.
Not everybody thinks what these guys are saying.
$100 million is not enough. Okay, I'd take a percentage of $100 million.
Listen, if
we all would
easily would.
We talked last week. It was off air through our group text, but we would take the undrafted free agent just practice squad salary of like $13,000 a week. I'd take that.
Yeah. Hello.
Telling me $50 million is not enough. $13,000 is plenty.
A week. Exactly. And you're taxed at the highest bracket. Like that is the one part of the game I recognize as well was like,
but still,
these taxes are different. It's the initial,
but it's not taking all your money.
It's not.
That's why I think for me, like you're neither
livable.
Too rich nor poor to have a financial advisor to do some smart things with your money, because it doesn't matter how much you do or don't have, you can always do smart things with it.
That is exactly right.
It
Justin
is,
Hawkins.
man. But
that's
again,
exactly right.
I've had to learn that sometimes the hard way.
Listen, and here's the thing, too. Success has levels. That's the one thing I like, and we'll probably have this summer conversation, but like the chase, though, is real. Once you get one check, you're like, I got to go get another one. Like, it's real.
Chasing a dollar. And that's not just in sports.
Yeah.
That's in life in general.
It
People
is.
chase dollars all the time.
No doubt about it. And I think if you're a professional athlete, like you've literally hit the lotto. Like be appreciative. And because again, the percentages are about the same. It's 1% of people that play in this league, and you basically hit the lotto at that point in time. And it's about how you treat your bread, how smart you are with it. And again, I can't judge my lifestyle off of a player that made $20 million a year. Like, we're not going to play that game. Like, what your level of success is, live in that world and be very doggone happy with it too. Because again, I've seen guys I played with guys I know made 5, 6, 7, 8 times more than I did. And I see them currently, and they're hurting. And I'm thinking to myself, well, they were chasing a level of success or a level of lifestyle that wasn't conducive to what their actual pay was. And these dudes are scrambling. It happens,
Ramon,
I will say.
It's just stuff at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You ever hear your granddaddy or anybody
Absolutely.
really wise say, hey, have you ever seen anybody pull a U-Haul behind a hearse?
No.
Doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen.
Can't take it with you.
No, cannot, man.
There's a difference in being excess. America's the land of excess.
It is, for sure.
Look, go to Buc-ee's. That's where we're at. But being comfortable, that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
No doubt about it.
And being able to provide for your family.
That's what it's about.
And then if you've done smart, your generations will have some things to carry forward.
For sure. And I know Jeff Smart, too. We were at his foundation. We were somewhere. It might have been after the game. We saw each other somewhere, too, and I saw he posted a certain type of vehicle. I was like, man, that's a dope car. We were talking. I like cars. We were talking about it and stuff. It was like, yeah, my financial advisor told me I can't buy nothing else. And I'm thinking to myself, I think I know what that car costs because I look at it. But, like, he told you couldn't buy anything else. Like, like you really could buy 10 of those and not have to worry about it. But that's the type of guy that the Titans paid. I think we heard him speak about how good the Titans have been to him. And, again, his hard work has led to this payoff. Has gotten him setting the bar in the NFL. The other part we didn't bring up, too, about Jeff, he beat a holdout in Vita Vea, who's looking for a new deal. And the Titans also were in front of line before Jalen Carter. That saves them, Rhett, how much? 15 plus 20 million by beating those two?
We're going to find out, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think your numbers are correct.
Yeah.
And listen, you knew the later that this went, in fact, somebody was on X the other day was like, why couldn't he said this on Wednesday? I'm like, he said he wasn't worried about it.
He did say it.
He knew.
He did.
He said he wasn't worried about it. I knew. Look, it was a matter of when, not if. That's what it was.
No doubt. I thought they would get Peter out
had
the
the
way.
money. Titans had the money to do this.
Yeah.
And if you're going to back up the truck, that's the guy you do it
You
for.
do him first. I think
right.
that was a proper way of doing it. I thought Skoronski would get it first. Just because I didn't think his would be, I don't think his would be as high as Jeff's. I was like, oh, just get that one out the way real quick.
Skoronski's his is coming. His is coming.
I think his is due soon. Too.
Yeah. All right. So as promised, we will talk about minicamp and a couple of things with Robert Saleh. He had some interesting things at the podium last Wednesday. One of which is about the strength and conditioning team putting a runway, as he called it, out in front of them for this 40 days till they return to training camp, to try to prevent soft tissue injuries. I thought it was an interesting quote, and we'll get into that and some other things, and including maybe what training camp battles we'll be watching. All of that as you listen to Ramon and Will here on 104.5 The Zone. Rolling through hour 2, Ramon and Will, 1045 The Zone on a Monday, June 22nd. Rhett Bryan in for Will Bowling. Will Bowling returns to his regular duties tomorrow as he is now a husband in the world.
Man, there's a
new title. New title, new world for Will Bowling.
Mr.
Will Bowling. That's right. That's exactly right. That laugh you hear, that infectious laugh, is Ramon Foster, 11-year NFL vet, VFL, and Titans Radio's color analyst, 2026.
Absolutely.
Here we go. Justin Hawkins, always doing an excellent job behind the glass. As the Titans just wrapped up mandatory minicamp, and by my count, everybody was there, even though they might not have been on the field doing work. In fact, we've been talking about Jeffery Simmons most of the morning in his contract. He did also, excuse me, he did also mention that he had his elbow cleaned up in the offseason because he'd been wearing that monstrous brace and he said he hadn't had full mobility in that elbow in about 2 years.
Show you mine now. My left one doesn't go all the way up right there.
Yeah.
And some people probably look at the elbow and just like, oh, he'll be fine. But you got to think about this, too. That elbow is a nuisance, man. Right.
Listen.
Especially in the offseason when you play those trenches position, like bench pressing, pushing is a part of it.
Any part of your body in a hinge, in a joint like that. You don't realize its functions till you don't. Like, ask a guy about turf toe. For God forbid, ask a guy missing a big toe and see how hard it is to walk on 4 toes. I'm serious. An elbow, as instrumental as that is in moving your upper, we ain't even talking soft tissue here.
No.
So,
and then people attack it. They go towards it. Like if I saw Jeff with the brace on, I got to test it. I want to see if he favors the other side versus the other.
What's he compensating for?
No doubt. Why do you have this brace on? Because I see it. That's an injury. It's not for no reason. So to hear that he got that cleaned up, man, if the rehab went as good as we think he works hard as he works, and you should see a better version, or at least I would say a more pain-free version of him.
Yep. And that is why we saw him in person, but he did not participate in mandatory minicamp. He did report, and I'm sure was doing some work on the inside of the building and then came out with his teammates later. We are actually going to talk about soft tissue because, as I mentioned, Robert Saleh, head coach of the Titans, in his availability last Wednesday for the final day of mandatory minicamp, mentioned something I thought was interesting in trying to, air quotes here, get the players a runway over the next 40 days between break of minicamp and the start of training camp to try to prevent soft tissue injuries.
It's all conditioning level, there's, our strength crew put together a great program for them over the next 40 days to get them ready for that first day of practice. And then from there, the acclimation and the buildup will continue to rise. But a lot of the soft tissue injuries come in because they're not prepared for the load that they're going to get hit with. And I get it. You're going to go out, you're going to enjoy your vacation, you're going to go to the beach, you're going to have some drinks and all that stuff, but you've got to be mindful about what you're doing to your body and how you're preparing yourself to play, because one injury, you set yourself back 2 weeks. I mean, just take our situation and our schedule. A week and a half into camp, we're having a scrimmage in the stadium. 2 weeks from report date, we're in San Francisco practicing, and we're playing a game. So you got 2 weeks. For a 4-day acclimation period is not covering that. So you've got to be able to prepare in a way that that has you ready from day one. And so, like I said, we've got a great program that we put together for the guys to follow, and they're always welcome to do more than what's being asked.
I thought that was an interesting approach to this, and maybe it's just that I haven't heard a head coach speak about these things very often, but you heard what he said. Like, it's his tough way of saying there ain't no excuse. Like, soft tissue, like, you can prevent that. It's conditioning.
And the coaching component of it, before we go to the health side of it, these coaches are tasked with the role, with the job of trying to help these players. Year ones all the way up to year 17 for Morgan Cox, 18 for Morgan Cox. They're tasked with trying to get them to live out their dreams. Every player on the roster has a chance. It's the way I think most look at it. most coaches look at it. It's my job to make you better for our team. Or after all of these weeks together, man, I like you so much, I want you to go somewhere else to be able to have a job. And that's what the ultimate goal of coaching is. How much can I teach and coach these guys up to be better players, better human beings, so we can win games so that both of us, all of us, can benefit from it. And when you have a coach like Coach Sala that's telling you the soft tissue side of it and the ramifications of if you aren't out there, as he mentioned, 2 weeks in, you're into a scrimmage. And a week after that, we're playing games at that point in time. Like that, you miss a hamstring, Rhett.
So the runway is now. Not then.
Physical conditioning is the motto, and I know this is where Coach Sala is going with, because each coach that cares about their players pushes. Physical conditioning precedes anything else. If you can run, if you can jump, if you can move without any soft tissue injuries, then we are better. You are better. I don't care how strong you are. You can go lift the entire weight room, but if your physical conditioning isn't up the way you need it to be, Rhett, you're useless. There's no other way. You're useless to us if you're on the sideline. And I'm sorry to tell you the bad news, but when training camp comes around, if you're on the sideline and you're not one of those guys, Rhett,
you're going to be looking for opportunities elsewhere.
They go shopping.
Yeah.
There's a long list of FAs that are available, of free agents, man.
And some FOs, too.
And some FOs, yeah. FA, FO. Yes, that's pretty much what he's telling them at this point. If you bleep around and not come into training camp, I promise you. Yeah. And I love that, because Coach Sala's been very passive-aggressive right there, and I love it. Because he's pretty much telling them, I've warned you. I've even told the media and all the fan base that if you get cut within the first 3 days, or as soon as you get healthy from the hamstring that you had, I will cut you because you've missed all this time. I can't evaluate you.
It is on record.
It's on record right now.
Privately and publicly.
But again, real quick though, too, would you say, too, with where this team at, Rhett, this team needs this type of mentality and presence from Coach Sala?
What did I say on this very show? Right after he was announced he was the head coach, I said that the way he and Dable and Gus Bradley, for that matter, the defensive coordinator, they're alphas. Yeah. But Robert Saleh is an alpha.
Yeah.
They needed that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, in particular, there were two guys who really needed that, and probably I know all of them do, but Jeffery Simmons and Cam Ward need that. Mm-hmm. They want to be coached differently,
they do.
Harder. Push, limits, fourth wall, all of they want it.
No doubt. Swalt bring in real quick in the chat and said, and his closing line says it all. And they're always welcome to do more than asked. That's what he's saying. Come in here ready to go, because he got zero time. And again, I just look at the psychological side of what Salah's been through himself. I don't want to call it an embarrassment of a first-team head coach, but I don't think he imagined. I don't imagine. When I did my little my send-off at the golf tournament the other day, I bombed it, okay? I didn't imagine it going bad. I didn't imagine going undrafted. It was embarrassing, I felt like. Like we all have those moments, right, where you're like, what am I doing? How did this happen? And I'm sure the first time around after reevaluating from leaving the Jets, it's like it was embarrassing for him. And when you're right-minded, you don't want to have that feeling ever again. That's why I look at my situation like it was embarrassing holding my oldest son, RJ, after 250-plus draft picks went by and I wasn't selected. Can you imagine how Coach Sala was in front of that New York media and everything he's kind of laid out in his new, job here with the Titans? I think it's because of that. The rookies aren't going to do rookie minicamp. The draft picks, why? Because I need them to get acclimated. They've been worked so hard, and I'm not trying to get any of these guys injured under my watch because I've seen what it looked like. We've seen it in other training camps where young rookies went into minicamp and pop Achilles or tear ACLs and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's going to be 100% successful, but I guarantee you he's probably more methodical about what he's doing now as opposed to that first time around.
In your particular experience that you just outlined and his, I think that is the interesting part about professional sports and really sports in general. But when you get humbled, first of all, it tests you as a man. Mm-hmm. Second of all, what do you make out of that experience? What do you learn out of it? And then, more importantly, what do you apply? And listen, we've all, professionally, personally, whatever, we've all been humbled.
Yeah, we have.
You've been told you're not enough. Yeah. You've been told you didn't make the grade. What did you do with that information? Did you simmer on it and get angry and let it eat you up? Or did you put that into rocket fuel and make something happen out of it?
Bottle that thing up, put some CO2 nitrous in it, just sprayed it. Legitimately. Man. And the other part, though, too, with this lifestyle, everybody sees it. That's the other part of the embarrassment is everybody sees it. Everybody keeps account of it. They remember you from those types of moments and stuff like that. I played with a guy that was one of the first dudes that got cut on Hard Knocks. Like, he was a D tackle in the Atlanta Falcons training camp. This man was so motivated by it, he freaking moved over to fullback just to prove that he could play and sustain himself in this league and ended up making a Pro Bowl. Roosevelt Nix is the guy's name. Like, I'm sure, speaking of like,
I remember Rosie, yes, sure.
Think about Blaine's situation, 8th round. Like, I hear him on the promo speaking about how physical he was in practice. It wasn't because he was just trying to be a jerk to people. It was because he's trying to show the world.
He's fighting for his life.
Blaine Bishop
his
belongs.
Professional life.
Exactly. Yep. Or when Derrick Henry finally got to the point where Eddie had to come speak to him. I'm sure that was embarrassing for Derrick Henry.
Never looked back.
Everybody has those moments. Yep. And again, I'm not painting it as if it's going to be all great because football is just a hard sport. It's one of the only ones where physicality really affects the outcomes of games like that. Every single play, every single game. So watching him speak this offseason and having communication with him myself on a one-on-one basis with him, he gets what he's up against. It's Coach Saleh, and I think this team is hearing the message as well. It usually starts there. This is how the locker room culture gets built. Mm-hmm. He's saying it privately and he's saying it publicly. So the excuses side of what this team has to lean on is zero. You have zero excuses because
we're not going to talk about injuries. We're not going to talk about a lack of depth. We're not going to talk about any of that.
We all know what the expectations are.
And if we don't put it in the work, it's on us.
No doubt.
Yeah. One other thing he mentioned at the podium was about what this window of time is like. And I'm phrasing this poorly, but here's what he had to say.
I'll be taking a lot of naps on the beach, hopefully, with the kids if they let me, but and golfing. But no, it's more important for the player because our minds, we're always going to be connected to the building. I'll still come in here during those 40 days and get some stuff done, organize things for training camp. But and I'll talk to the players more about it tomorrow. But these next 40 days are critical, and I feel like so many players lose their season before it ever starts because of the way they handle these next 40. It's not a vacation. They've got to get ready to play ball. We kind of trick it by pretending the 4-day acclimation period will help them kind of give them a runway to get into the season. That there's no runway. When you get here, we got to go, and if you're not prepared to play, you're going to get hurt, and that's league wide, and we can put bubble wrap on these guys and delay the inevitable, which leads to injury weeks 1 through 5 during the season. But the important thing is that our players attack the heck out of the next 40 days, get here ready to play, and have an amazing training camp.
Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. I want you to react to that comment there because you've done this for 11 years for a living as a player. And I want you to speak on what he said there, but I also want you to speak on what's the player punch list for the most important things you do and what is their 40 days. It's different, all the other 31 places, but we don't care about the other 31 places right now. We care about the Titans. But this window is super, super important. Enjoy your time with your family, but you got work to do while you're out. Okay. So we're going to do that when we come back as you listen to Ramon and Will. This is 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster, and I'm with Aaron from United Structure Systems. Man, they came by today to check out my house. If there's any issues, small or big, you're going to fill us in there.
We can take care of it no matter what kind of problems. So first off, we'll just kind of take a look through your house and see what kind of issues you got going. Cracks in the brick, cracks in the drywall, weird spots in the floor, doors sticking, windows not opening properly. Once we identify those areas, we're going to do a thorough inspection around the outside, make sure there's no issues going on with that. And then once we look over it, we'll talk about what's going on, and hopefully we ain't got no issues, and then we'll go from there.
Let's go. Let's go.
Ms. Foster, so we have looked at the issues that you brought up. We had the drywall in the attic up here above your bonus or your garage. You had some doors sticking.
I did.
Going in your bathroom. So we've inspected all that. We don't see any major structural concerns. So you're going to be one of our lucky good news customers today. There is some minor deflection there. That's not an uncommon thing. As any house is built, it's its biggest and its strongest the day that it's born. Gotcha. Right? And from that point, it just gets older, just like us. We ain't hopping up out of bed, taking off down the hallway, running those stairs anymore.
Not protecting quarterbacks anymore.
No.
Opening up late. We're done.
Your guard ain't there no more.
Okay,
so.
I got you.
So it just happens. It gets a little older and it starts to deflect. Now, there are some things we can do to kind of help adjust those doors, mainly adjusting in the door, which we don't necessarily do, and maybe doing some light shimming in the crawl space down there to address those sticking doors. But for now, no major issues there. We did talk about the grading in the back and some issues that we can take care of back there for you. But that's pretty much up in a nutshell. No big issues and you're good to go. So.
Awesome. So again, what you deal with United Structural Systems is it's upfront, it's honest, and now I can sleep peacefully at night, okay?
This is a different court, Blair.
Same result, Slay.
Oh, okay, Blair. See, that's Tyler Tanner. See, Tyler Tanner's in the house now.
Let's see what you got. Jerry's out, Blair.
Blair, come on. Okay, Blair, just come sit down. Come on, Blair. Blair, stop. You're going to get hurt. Blair, get off the court. That's enough.
What's the verdict, Blair?
The courtroom is where I play ball.
Boy, Durham, injury law, and that ain't got no roof.
The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
almost to the halftime point of Ramon and Will. 1045 The Zone. I'm Brett Bryan. Will Bowling back in the saddle tomorrow with Ramon Foster right there across from me. Justin Hawkins producing as well behind the glass. So before we went to break, head coach Robert Saleh of your Tennessee Titans mentioned what the next 40 days are going to be like for him and kind of what his expectations are for the players and all of this. And really the message is keep working. Enjoy your time, but keep working. He said, I'm going to have naps on the beach and this, that, and the other, but I'm still going to come into the office and get things organized and done because once it starts, you can't turn it off.
There's no turning it off. Absolutely.
So my question to you is as a player, what is the most important punch list you've got in that window between mandatory minicamp and the start of training camp? Knowing that, the most obvious is stay off the blotter, stay out of trouble. Let's not get in the headlines in the wrong way. Let's, that's the common sense part of this, even though some of it has to be said, has to be talked about. But what's some of the things that you would do personally, trainer, all of these things to get ready?
So it's I told y'all before on that break, I was like, man, I need to call my trainer. Well, I called him while I was making my oatmeal in there. I was just like, man, I never asked you this. What was our goals? What was your goals for me as my trainer? My guy, James Wilson, man, huge Titans fan, season ticket holder the whole night. He never even really mentioned it while he was training me either. We talked and stuff like that. But to get to the point of me asking him a couple of minutes ago, I'm like, James, what were your goals? Why did you take me to hell when we were training, basically? He said,
take me to hell.
It's what it felt like, and that's what it should be, okay? But he said, I had to evaluate where we were. He was just like, I know you had a knee issue. Like, we was always working on my quads, making sure my quads was good and just, stuff like that, lower body. He was like, you never had a strength problem. It was like, so we didn't have to always work on the strength. He was like, you were strong, we go lift, we do our thing. Like, I think about those days. Like, I'm doing, floor presses with 170-pound dumbbells. Like, strength was never a problem. He was like, for you, I wanted you to walk in the training camp because of where you were in your career as a vet. He was like, and also we always had those conversations of you being undrafted. So that's the other part, though, too. Who is training? Like a guy like Jeff. That's why I brought up what's next for Jeff. Jeff's probably in this era of his career chasing Defensive Player of the Year. I was chasing respect and making sure I stayed healthy because there's an undrafted mindset. They can always find another guy. At least this is the way I thought. That's how I survived. I was chasing that, or I was running away from that is what I'm getting at. So he said to me a second ago, when it came down to your conditioning, he's like, I wanted to make sure that, hey, you don't need the condition because of the position you play. But if you had to go, you go. He's like, and that's what we did. That's why we ran so much. That's why we did all the drills to get you prepared for it. And that's what Coach Saleh's saying, too. Like, do the baseline. But more is always welcome. And I think when you look at yourself from OTAs to minicamp, getting ready for training camp, it's figuring out what the issues are, whether it be for a smaller guy. He got to add 5 to 10 pounds of muscles. We saw Cam Ward. He lost 10 pounds, right? You look at those situations. Okay, we got that out the way. Okay, what's next? Our footwork. Let's make sure we're good. Let's make sure our eyes and hands are good. Let's make sure that, hey, now the conditioning. Okay, we got to get massages. Let's get those as well. Like, there's an entire checklist of things to lead up to the process of day one of training camp. And at the end of it, it is the conditioning side of it. There is no 225 bench press and nothing you have to do, but most teams have a conditioning test. I've seen big guys pass it with flying colors, Rhett. I'm talking about the same drills, different times, different runs that small guys have to do. But then I see little guys, Rhett, who think they're in shape. And they're dying. They're cramping up in the condition. Like, day one, can't allow that. You'll find yourself sidelined. As Coach Saleh said, the train continues to move. And that's what you have to prepare yourself for, is to never get off the train. You can have a day off because the coach give you one. But when the coach asks you to go, you go. And that's the mentality and what you're training for this time of the year, if that makes sense for you.
Show me the balance of you being a guy that married children and that part of it, because that's, they want to spend time with
absolutely.
You. You obviously want to spend time with them.
It would be right now. It would have been as soon as OTAs, as soon as the mini camp is over, which is usually Father's Day weekend, we go home. I get about a week of training. So this would be my last week of training right before we take a little mini vacation, because the mindset of guys in this league that's got families or in general that are training is, I got to give them the time because, as you said a second ago, when mid-July hit, late July hit, when training camp, everybody got to put everything on the back burner. So we usually take a cruise. We go somewhere. We did Hawaii one off season or something like that. Just go somewhere away from football. And then that you have some active rest. We walk. I think one morning we were on vacation. I ran basically a 5K. I did. We was just like, let's go running. And we did do those things. You get back to home, next day we're back to training. I tell anybody usually, I tried to always get our vacation in with the family before the 4th of July because I wanted to be home for the 4th because I enjoy the 4th of July at home. After the 4th, Rhett,
it's business.
Summer's done.
Yep.
I mean, and I genuinely mean that. If you are taking a trip, you can probably take a trip around the teens from like the 10th, July 10th to maybe the 14th or 15th. By that time, we have zero time to be playing around with this career in football. 4th of July for most NFL players marks the end of the summer.
The work always has to be there.
Mm-hmm. It has to. And the reason I give the 4th, because after the 4th, I probably got 3 solid weeks of go get it. Like at this time after the 4th, I think we were tapered back just a little bit on lifting. I wasn't lifting as much after the 4th of July. I was doing more conditioning. We might spend an hour and a half running and might spend 30 to 40 minutes lifting. You know what I'm saying? Or doing agility stuff. We do sand pits. We do long runs. We do sprints. We do short runs. We do everything in between to get you acclimated to what we like to call football movements. As Coach Sala says, that 4 days they give you in training camp, that's cute. That's the NFL checking the box and say, hey, we're here getting you guys in football shape. But the acclimation happens, I think, after the 4th of July. Well, I'm pass setting. I'm pass setting and then sprinting. I'm pass setting and then running 100 yards and jogging back. I'm pass setting and then working lateral and stuff like that. That football movement right there is a trained thing. It's one of those things, I guess, if you're looking at a sharpshooter just doesn't become a sniper overnight. There's thousands of bullets spent in order for them to be able to hit the little bull's eye from a mile away.
Sure.
And that's what essentially you're getting yourself prepared for.
And he lined it up by saying in 10 days into camp, there's a scrimmage within the team itself.
And it means a lot.
And then 14 days in, there's a scrimmage against the San Francisco 49ers, and then a preseason game.
It happens quick. And training camps are long, slow days because you get up at usually 5 o'clock and you don't end until 10 o'clock. So the days seem very long and it's outstretched. But after that first week, it is business, right? Especially when we're talking about scrimmage stuff. Or the other one that I enjoy, goal line day. When goal line day happens, that's when all hell breaks out. Because you're telling me now we're closer to the game plan, and usually goal line day is usually one of the last installs because it's so physical, it's so downhill and everything else.
On the way in hour 3, we will talk to former Titans tight end Ben Troop, who joins the show at 8:20. But up next, a major change with the NFL referees as they have reached a new collective bargaining agreement, and there's going to be a ref practice squad. Imagine that. All of that, your phone calls and more as we continue with hour 3 of Ramon and Will on your home for the Titans, 1045 The Zone. Hour 3, quarter number 3 of 4 quarters of Ramon and Will here on 104.5 The Zone. I'm Rhett Bryan, in for Will Bowling. He will be back in this chair tomorrow morning as a newlywed. Ramon Foster right here, as he always is. Justin Hawkins behind the glass, making it all happen. One of the interesting things, Ramon, that dropped over the weekend was a report about some of the things under the new collective bargaining agreement between the NFL and the NFLRA, or the Referees Association. And that is, for the first time in its history, the NFL plans to form a practice squad this season of up to 12 game officials. Its members will be assigned to specific crews, travel to stadiums, and be available to work games if a starting official is either injured or performing poorly.
Beautiful.
That is music to a lot of NFL fans' ears, football fans' ears. To further boost efforts to improve, the sides, both sides being the NFL and the NFLRA, also codified 14 training dates into an expanded offseason. Lower performing officials could be made available to the United Football League in future years. And this spring, all crews have been working OTAs and mini camps for the first time. So we saw refs more than we ever have at Vanderbilt Health Football Center, where the Titans are. But how about that? So this is, in a way, first of all, you're creating a pool of talent that the NFL is getting involved with to cultivate experience at that level.
Yep.
And then in a way, in a baseball technology term, you're getting busted back down to the minors.
Yeah. No, seriously.
You're going to go to the UFL.
And I think that's necessary for some of them, because having dealt with them from time to time in player game and, in my other role as well, from, and how they're officiated and what they do call and don't call, the idea that they could be bumped down to the minors is a lot of pressure at this point. The performance component of it, the bullpen that you pretty much said that they have right now, the practice squad of referees is based upon referees not living up to the standards that the NFL is set. And not just the NFL is set. I think most teams, most fans, depending on what side of the line you are, feel like the refs are against them anyway. I will say this, and I give them this much credit. The referees aren't against your team or for your team. Most times in the NFL, I can vouch for that. I do think there are some times in which a bad call make you feel that way, or a guy that's just been on the streak of, I'll be real with you, just not being able to see the call as good as he should, or making up for other calls is problematic for fans. And when fans uproar, I will say this, the NFL mostly listens. They will hear you speak out about, hey, this is bad. Social media is a real tool for exposure. I think we've recognized that, man. And the other part in which this makes a whole lot of sense, so Rhett, DraftKings, FanDuel, and all the betting houses, is too much at stake. I know gambling is a huge side of the conversation of sports in today's world, but when the NFL has FanDuel or DraftKings or other sports book pouring into the pot, and there's partnerships with these sports books to make money, to make the NFL bigger, to pay bigger salaries, and coaches and everybody lives that life, they got to make sure they get the betting side right. And having a higher standard for NFL referees, I think, is part of this movement.
That half point will get you every time.
Every time. And that half point could be you called a DPI when you shouldn't have, and now your kicker can't make the 55-yarder because now it's a 60-yard field goal.
Almost every head coach I've been around, and I've been around a few now, don't have a problem with officiating. They don't have a problem with these ladies and gents out here trying to do their job.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a problem with the penalties and the structure. What they have a problem with is the interpretation of those rules. And so I think with this practice squad and those things, are starting to see a more levelized training implementation, for lack of better terms, so that everyone understands this is how we're going to call this.
Sure.
Not I'm not. I'm Ed Hockley. I'm going to call it this way. It's like
because I can.
I feel like we can say that because he's retired and probably
we can criticize him
in a
just a
medium
little bit.
shirt somewhere all hulked up.
I saw Jim in the chat said, "Boy, Coach Mack will be all about this." Yeah.
Oh God, would he ever? You're right, Jim. He would.
Yeah.
He would be all over this because it is the first attempt by the league and the Referees Association to try to improve that part of the game, which is always super controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Your team should have gotten this call go in their favor, and why did you call that against my team?
Yeah. And here's the other part, too, that the practice squad for the referees has in its place. It's to give demerits to bad referees and reward good ones. Like this scale that they have right now, having a bullpen is an elite side of this because, according to the article, if you're bad, they're going to tell you you're bad. And you're going to get bumped down. Now, they said the other side of the coin is this. Putting in a new referee that has been on practice squad who hasn't had real in-game experience in the current season could be problematic. But that's why they also have these refs in the UFL, or they got them practicing and doing more. I think the quote in there, more employees and more work isn't a bad thing. And when you have a business as big as the NFL is, I mention this all the time, why NFL is so anti-gambling and betting when it comes down to the players. It's because the product has to stay good. It's too much money being made and being paid out to players and coaches and everybody else involved in it for you to have a slip up even a little bit, which makes the Brendan Sorsby case so interesting to me with this supplemental draft side of it, because NFL can't risk having a rogue referee or player that hurts the business, because at that point in time, Rhett, I mean, you question everything at that point.
We've seen what point shaving scandals in basketball have done.
In baseball.
Baseball, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then obviously, one of the most infamous cases was SMU getting the death penalty.
Tough.
Years and years ago. And, that program is just now starting to get back to some prominence, and have turned out some NFL players in the last handful of years.
It has. I want to just push this too, because I'm pro referees when it boils down to it. I don't want to say pro referees. I understand the job that they do. Mm-hmm. I would say to anybody locally that's a referee right now, NFL is trying to find as many people they can to put them in a program to walk them up to the NFL level. If you are in it, go to the NFL operations page. If you're an able-bodied person, I know this for a fact. They pay so good.
You can make six figures.
Easy.
And that's a part-time gig.
Easy, right? Yeah. So if you're in it in the high school level and want to go higher, go to the NFL operations page. There might be something there for you.
And the article you mentioned, this was something we took out of ESPN, wrote about this. Kevin Seifert and Kaylin Kaler, I guess is her name. But yeah, it said what one called an injection, air quotes, of NFL DNA into the way officials are managed. It says utilizing a practice squad this way will represent a sharp change from previous business and serve perhaps as the most visible change from the latest CBA negotiations that the NFL pledged publicly and privately that it would be dedicated to improving its officiating performance. Listen, this can only be good for the game of football at that level. And, yeah, I mean, why not get involved in the league having resources and go, let's get you trained up? Because, listen, there's been good officials that came from college football.
It has been.
There's been bad ones, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the difference in those rules. And here's the other part. And in fairness to the officials, that competition committee keeps you on your pivots on your heels. Because, there's a tweak of rules every offseason, some more drastic than other offseasons, but it's a moving target.
And the other part, though, too, I think was unique in how they're judging referees. It will create, in my personal opinion, a competition on who can be the best referee, because they said as far as the big games go and as far as exposure of who gets the primetime games, it's not based upon years. It's not tenure anymore. It's based on performance. And that's where you mentioned Ed Hockley. Again, we'll use him because he's retired. His son is actually refereeing now, though. But
Sean,
you're not going to see, oh, this guy's been a referee 18 years and now he gets the Super Bowl. No, it's based upon performance. And that's where the players are judged. And I think that's fair for guys who are on the field with the players to be judged the same too, because if you make a flagrant call, you shouldn't be on next Monday night's broadcast. Is the way I look at it, or Sunday Night Football broadcast if you made a very flagrant call that had a bad outcome in the game. And it does happen. There are some referees just like doctors or just like players who aren't as good as you want them to be. And that's the reality of it, especially when you got the public microscope on them as well.
And go ahead, Justin.
So now if you make a flagrant call, like you said, on a regular Sunday afternoon game, you don't get awarded that Monday night game, but instead you get kind of relegated to one of these 12-game officials, but then you bring one of those new practice squad guys up. Are they tested? Are they battle tested? Are they ready for the call for that next Sunday afternoon game or whatever they're called to do? Because I think while I was reading this last night, one of the concerns is not only the way the CBA was signed back in 2019, but these officials are not really tested. They're going through extensive training to be prepared, but are they truly prepared for what happens on a Sunday? Just like an NFL player that gets called up from the practice squad on any given Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever. Yeah. Are they battle tested the same way? And then you're trusting them to make these in-game calls, which is, like you said earlier, are very controversial. What happens then? Then are you kind of thinking, we shouldn't have done this?
Well, your question is, and I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Ramon. No, it's a great point. I think from what I gather from this article, first of all, it's said that up to 12 referee practice squad will be dispersed into different crews. Yeah. I bet you they start this in the preseason so that they get some experience with some of this stuff. But you're right. You can't manufacture the experience part. And, yeah, there's going to be – and listen, it's not going to be an instant – make everything better. There's going to be some things in flux. They're going to tweak something. Next offseason, we'll see how they expand off of this.
And that's the thing, too. It's most definitely a tester going into it. But, Hawk, you asked the question of what happens to the sideline referee, the practice squad guy. If you're being elevated, and in that world, it's elevation because of performance of somebody that didn't live up to it. That's a different conversation. I would guess this. The motto of the guys who are on the sideline would be this: learn from the fool, don't be the fool.
Yeah, I agree. I
there's no real way for them to do it other than simulating in their mind watching, like when you were a young guy at Union playing soccer, right? Like you saw what the older dudes were doing. It's like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I should do that. Like you'll be on the sideline playing the game in your mind, I think.
Right, and you're always studying just like an NFL player watches tape. But referees could probably get to watch tape and always continue to learn. Yeah. But for me, I think just for the sake of sanity and the sake of the structure of an NFL football game, just more replays need to be kind of initiated just to help the game along.
Oh, you want more replays?
Yeah, just I think they.
You mean like New York assisted through the official up top in the booth?
Yeah, I think you're, and this is just throwing it into soccer, but the World Cup has done a good job of initiating those kind of replays. The referee, the head ref, is not doing the replays, but he's getting the calls into his ear to say, hey, you should review that. Go to VAR and review that. I think that could be implemented just a little bit because you go back to whatever it was, 2019, whatever that playoff game was with the Saints and the Rams, when they actually had replays for pass interference calls. That was a blatant missed call, but that could have been fixed with a simple replay. Just could have been fixed. Some of these things, you got the human element. Yeah. Sometimes you can take that away.
I get you. I will say this, though, and having done both sides, the difference, I think, in the NFL and college is that window, though, too. I just wanted to your point about how long they replay and how many times they replay is based upon ads sold, though, as well. Like NFL broadcast rate is tight. Is it not? 2 hours, 55 minutes? Usually,
that's what they're. Yeah, I mean, the average is still around 3 hours and 10 minutes or so, I'd say. But yeah, they're shooting for, as they call, kill the clock. They want to get the breaks in where they can get them in and try to get it in under 3 bills.
Like a college broadcast might last you 3.5 to 3 hours and 50 minutes. I mean,
halftime is forever.
It's 20 minutes. Like that's the only point I bring on the play. The replays. And again, getting it right is what matters, Hawk. I agree with you there.
You need somebody in New York that knows all of it.
That's more what I'm referring
That's egregious.
To.
That's not. Right. Let's look at this further. Yeah, tell them that's this. All right, in Philadelphia, let's say that. In Tennessee, this right here, that's an egregious call. That's pass interference,
Yeah, just like a hovering parent, just watching over the game.
It's like an air traffic controller for the NFL is what it is.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that's
You're
like.
not taking a lot of time off the clock to do the replay unless it's absolutely necessary and you're having somebody tell you in your ear in real time saying, hey, go review that now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just going to leave you alone.
Yeah, there needs to be an accountability part of this. But it's an interesting thing to me that they're working towards it. That's exactly right. We're working towards a break. And on the other side, former Titans tight end Ben Troop joins us on the show. It's Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone.
When you start noticing cracks in the walls, uneven floors, or driveways sinking and separating, it's more than a home issue, good people. It's a peace of mind issue. That's why who you choose for foundation repair, concrete leveling, it really matters. I trust United Structural Systems because they've been doing this the right way since 1994 right here in Tennessee. USS doesn't believe in quick fixes or those scare tactics that other companies like to use. They take the time to inspect, explain what's happening, and walk you through real proven solutions that are built to last. Whether your home needs foundation stabilization, crawl space repair, or concrete leveling for sinking sidewalks, patios, and driveways, USS uses engineered systems designed for long-term performance, not those temporary patches. USS is offering several payment options for you in July to make sure your foundation repairs are more affordable. You can choose one of the following. You can get a 10% discount if you pay full, or fix it now and pay later with 18 months, no payment, no interest, or also choose the 36 months with no interest with low payment options for qualified homeowners. Again, they're dependable, they're trustworthy, they're USS. So go ahead and give them a call or learn more by going to USSTN.com.
Hour 3, Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone. I'm Rhett Bryan, filling in for Will Boulding, who's back in the saddle tomorrow with Ramon Foster, with Justin Hawkins behind the glass. As we roll through Hour 3 of the program.
Brother Hawkins.
We never did. I teased it, but we never did talk about it. What's a couple of training camp battles you're looking for with Titans as we look through several OTA days and a couple days of mandatory minicamp?
Man, Cordell Volson and Jackson Slater, numero uno, right there. Let's start with that one. Of course, the trenches is where I'm most fond to, but I think it's most important for this team this year. I think when you look at Brandon Kershaw-Dixon and Deculus, Austin Deculus is another player I think that's going to be in a little bit of a battle as well up the middle. So those two positions specifically are going to be fascinating to me. Who is it? Michael Robinson.
Oh, the DB.
And the DBs.
Yeah.
Like
one of the young fellas that played a lot last year.
No doubt about it. Like, who's going to step up in that role right there? Because, again, there are some guys that can make some plays for you. Like we've seen this year, in this preseason so far, Keydran Callaghan and both Michael Robinson make plays. So how those two guys kind of split up, who's going to stay and who's going to go, or who's going to go to practice team and who might be on active squad if either one of them have that opportunity this year.
I would also throw in Marcus Harris, who will be counted on as the nickel in this. And because I started seeing articles published over the weekend about maybe one of the last remaining free agents out there, Kenny Moore from Indianapolis.
Yes, that's right.
Being brought in as something there for competition. I think they like Marcus Harris. I think they like what he can do. And he certainly got a lot of reps in these OTAs and in the mini camps. I think you're right on the money with trying to figure out what it is at right guard. Because the more we got into the mini camp, you started to see Jackson Slater lining up all over the place with first and second team at right guard. And obviously, Cordell Volson, the vet, got his plenty of reps with the ones and twos. But Jackson Slater's snap or rep count really elevated into this mini camp.
It did. That one to me, and I got some side bets going on too.
Speaking of betting houses. And I've kind of been not necessarily high on these guys, but there's a 3-way, potentially a 4-way competition that's got to be settled. And I love the way they've kind of facilitated this offseason of quality bodies with small positions, okay, as far as who's going to be chosen for. Because I look at this group, David Ibuka-Ogoa, 1. Mm-hmm.
I got Truman Jones,
yes.
2. You got the veteran and Jacob Martin, who I don't want to call safe, but he's played for Coach Saleh. He's 9 years in. He's in that conversation, and Jalen Harrell. That quad right there is going to be fascinating of defensive ends and training camp. It's going to mean hell for the offensive linemen because those dudes going to have to go every single day, Rat.
And those first 3, not Jalen Harrell, but those first 3, all made plays in these practices.
That's what I'm saying. So watching those go, and again, I recite them again. David Ibuka-Ogoa, who I've seen got a lot of good twitch out of him. Truman Jones, I think fits this defense. Got some get about him off the edge. Very similar body type to David Ibuka-Ogoa.
Yep.
And then you also mentioned, of course, Jacob Martin, who we were at practice, and I pointed it out to you the other day. It's like, who is this talking? Golly, he is just chirping. I have a hatred for defensive players, okay, just in general. But I love them as players, okay? It's just you got to separate what's real, Rat, and like my inherent hate for just defensive players that be yapping. It's like a hunting dog, okay? And I hear it coming from the right side of the field. I'm like, who is it? I couldn't find the voice. I actually thought it was one of the coaches. It was Jacob Martin. And he's just going. He's getting the young boys together, which is what you want. This is why you bring in a veteran like him, because he can go do his job, and then he like watching the young guys go off and have a good time, though, too. And it was him, and I'm thinking to myself, that's valuable, Rat. That's valuable right there, man, because you have guys that's pushing younger guys to be better. But when you look at the numbers that have to be displayed when you pick 53, I'm not sure if all of these guys make it. I'm not sure who stays, who's traded. That's a component of this as well. And but the performance side of it, which Coach Sala's been preaching, has to be there for these guys.
So I'd go with a couple other position groups to watch in this because the wide receivers, obviously Wan'Dale Robinson is the big free agent get. Calvin Ridley's still there doing Calvin Ridley things.
No doubt.
And then there's Carnell Tate, their 4th overall draft pick from Ohio State. And then we have the second-year guys who played a lot in 2025 in Elikiah Manor and in Chimere Dike. Then what is it like after that? Because they bring in KJ Osborne, a vet, who's played, this is year 6 for him?
7, maybe? 6 or 7.
6. And he is making plays. And then let's not forget about our friend Bryce Oliver, the gunner on special teams, who had injury that he was trying to work through and finally played in Week 18 in Jacksonville last year after missing considerable time. I think that the back end of that wide receiver group, which you're like, Rhett, aren't there battles in that stuff every year? Yes, there is. I get it. But there's some stuff in there that's going to make it more difficult. Yeah. And KJ Osborne is that going to make it difficult element. And then the running back group. Because we saw not necessarily a reemergence of Tajay Spears, but we saw that Tajay light come on a little bit last week in minute camp.
Sure did.
And then obviously Tony Pollard is the bell cow to go with him. Khalil Mullings is in year 2, the converted linebacker, 7th-round pick, draft pick from last year. They have Nick Singleton they drafted from Penn State in, round 5?
Who's got some get.
Got some get in there, but then there's the vet Michael Carter, 5th-year man from North Carolina. And much like KJ Osborne with the wide receivers, Michael Carter is going to make that running back room interesting and that competition on the back end.
You don't want to call it crowded, but it's a crowded room, right? Like there's a lot of bodies. There's only one football and only about 50 reps of practice, and not all of them are live. And for those guys, they have to have live reps. Now, the cool part you mentioned a guy like, let's go Michael Carter, Nick Singleton, Khalil Mullings, and Julius Chestnut, they will probably end up getting the lion's share of preseason games. The evaluation side of it, though, too, as far as joint practices, if they have more than one, I think they might have 1, 2, maybe even 3. But how do you get Tony Pollard and Tajay ready? That's the other part of this conversation is at some point, the readiness of your starters plays a huge side in who gets reps. Because if it's the Titans versus San Francisco in the joint practice, Tony's probably got to go. Tajay's probably got to go. And how much are you willing to allow them to go in moments where it's non-serious to where you can see what they're actually made of? Because this is a new staff, too. So I'm interested to see. You know, another guy, too, not to transition too fast, but another group, and you've brought this guy up numerous times, and I got to give you credit for spotting him. He's already been in the league, but the tight end, Kyle and Granson. He got some playmaker ability in him, too. Watching this tight end group kind of
6-year man out of SMU.
Exactly. Like watching him and David Martin Robinson kind of, go at it. You look at, of course, Jaron Kanik playing a part in this as well. What role is he's going to have to hash out for himself? I think we look at Gunnar Helm and Bellinger. It's like, okay, we get those situations.
Jaron Kanik is going to be a fun watch in the preseason.
Yes, he is. Yes,
you can just get ready for that part.
I wonder
It'll be fun.
I do wonder what the role is going to look like because it can look fun. It can look really fun for them group. But that tight end group, I didn't think we would have this much competition in it.
All right, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take an early break. We come back. We will have Ben Troop, former Titans tight end, with us as you listen to Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon and Will. 1045 The Zone rolls on through hour 3. Rhett Bryant in for Will Bowling with Ramon Foster. Joined now by former Titans tight end Ben Troop on the line. Hello, number 84. How you doing this morning?
Troop?
Man, first and foremost, man, I appreciate you guys being professional and patient with me, Ramon. I'm hitting you up yesterday. Then I'm a long ways from them Nashville, towers, man. Where I'm at, I don't know if I'm beaming off the T-Mobile, the Verizon. I might be beaming off AT&T, Sprint. I don't know, but we did get it right. I appreciate you guys. Hey, listen, where I'm at, Ramon.
Yeah.
Look, cricket is still balling down here. I might have seen a dude. Hey, don't get it twisted where I am. We trying to get the cheapest rate, $25 a month, unlimited talking text. Let's do it, baby.
Cricket is still balling. Oh, that's good. That's
a good one right there, Troop.
Ben, I want to start with something that is cranked up in this city in Nashville here this week for, I think, this is the 5th or 6th installment of this. But there's a little thing called Tight End University. And you're talking about George Kittle, who lives here, and TJ Hawkinson. Greg Olsen is a big part of this, Travis Kelce as well. And this is a forum for that position. They're going to do practices at Vanderbilt football stadium, First Bank Stadium over there, and I think they're going to open some stuff up to the public. But as a guy who played the position, how important is it to have something like this for a love for a position group that you played in the National Football League and for the Florida Gators?
I think it's the greatest thing you could do if you are a Travis Kelce, if you are a George Kittle, if you are a Greg Olsen, because let's face it. The tight end, we got tired of saying that. We got tired of saying the pass rushers and the DBs and the receivers. It's a legacy thing. When Travis Kelce is sitting there telling people, how he gets open and how he does this, but then they tell him, well, we ain't got Patrick Mahomes. Like, yeah, that does make things a little different. I think they get to talk life. They get to tell people, look, this is how I do off the field. This is how I take care of my body. This is what I'm doing, to position myself after football. I think it's those conversations, and it's a humility thing. Most of the time, I would have loved to train with, Antonio Gates and Gonzalez, and you talk about Shannon Sharp, but I think that's the difference now is people aren't afraid to share the wealth. You have arrived at your position when you can give away all your gems. You say, look, if I can tell you what I'm doing, I got to be pretty good at it. So I'm very, very happy that those guys have it. And I would love to just be a fly on the wall just to hear those conversations. Unfortunately, Travis Kelce got tired of saying, listen, Taylor Swift does not have a sister. And I don't know what to tell y'all boys, man. But at the same time, I love when tight ends want to see other tight ends do well, not just financially, not just athletically, but they're talking about being good husbands, man, good fathers. And I think those are the conversations that I know are being had with those guys.
I want to parlay that into this next thing because Ramon and I have had conversations frequently and recently about players and their eras and how would they work now. Like had a conversation the other day about how well would Steve McNair play in today's NFL at the quarterback position. I'm also of the belief that Ben Troop in the current tight end world with the skill set you brought out of college would be well played right now. Would you agree with that?
I do. Only because here's the thing now. When I came into the National Football League, and Ramon can speak for this, you got to play the way they tell you to play. Hey, this is how tight ends play. This is what we do. Now, Brock Bowers get to leave Athens, go straight, to Las Vegas, and he don't got to miss a beat. I love the fact that they're not making you conform because sometimes it's not your skill set. You're trying to make me do something that I don't do. Now, I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. And Steve McNair, I agree 100%. Steve McNair is an any-era player. Steve McNair could have played when they had them leather helmets and no face masks. This dude, and I'm only saying this because I was blessed to share the field with Steve McNair. And it's almost unfair. Steve McNair can say, hey, listen, Ben, if they cover you on the outside, turn inside. They cover you on the inside, turn outside. I said, what if they on the inside? He said, I'm going to put it in between them. And he could do that. Like, he could put the ball in places where the defenders couldn't even get there. So, yeah, I think Steve McNair would have benefited. I think of Vince Young. In this era, how they're doing with the mobile quarterback, God, this dude would have, because sometimes being ahead of your time ain't a good thing because I need the league to embrace it, not just a team. So, yeah, I definitely would have loved to have been around in some of these offenses. But hey, man, I got a chance to play Antonio Gates when we used to play. I got to play him when we used to play the Chargers, man. And I said, this is this route tree. He get to do this. I see why he catch all these passes. It's almost like they say, hey, they had a play called Antonio Gates get open. That's literally the play. I said, how you gonna cover? That's like me out there on the, back in the day. But yeah, I would have loved to have played in this era, man. But to see these tight ends and like the Trey McBride and the Kyle Pitts of the world, to see what these guys are doing, I'm just happy that the tight end position has become the it position on offense.
Joined by former Titans Ben Troop this morning talking ball. Troop, you said something a second ago, man, and kind of raised my eyebrows just slightly. You said, it's the tight ends are sharing the tricks of the trade. In your era, was that just one of those just coveted situations, Troop, where you just said, you know what? This job is so hard to get, I'm not really sharing what I have, and that's kind of opened up a little bit more than you ever thought it would. Did guys share like this?
No. Wow. I think they wanted to, but it's how it is, Ramon. It's hard to be the first, right? Because if it doesn't go well, I'm gonna get blamed for it. What do you So now when you see a pass rusher talking to an opposing pass rusher on the team after the game saying, "Yeah, do this or do that," I'm not saying that the best tight ends when I played didn't want to do it, but guys would do it like individually. Yeah, man, come meet me. Adrian Peterson will go out there to San Diego and work out with LaDainian Thomas. Now these guys are saying, "Hey." And I'm pretty sure all the tight ends didn't make the list. Like, look, I don't even know how many guys didn't make it, but what Peyton Manning is doing with that passing academy, that's what the tight ends are really doing. I love what they're doing in the NFL. Take it to college. Invite high school guys, because that's when you're really doing it. When you got, I don't know how many quarterbacks you're going to need, but you got 300 tight ends on the field, and they're trying to get right. So I'm not saying that I would have loved to have done it. I would have picked them guys' brains. Like, if I was sitting down in front of Shannon Sharp, to me, that's the greatest tight end of all time. I mean, he a country boy from Georgia just like me. I wore 84 because he wore 84. Shannon Sharp would have told me to get out his face. Like, man, get out my note. I would have sat right there because he represents the same things I did. I mean, he grew up with his grandma. I grew up with, even though I had my parents, I grew up with my grandma as well. I thought everybody had three grandmothers and three grandfathers like I did. So, yeah, I would have loved to have done it, man. But I'm just happy that it's being done, and I'm jealous of those guys in a good way. Ain't no animosity at all. I'm just happy that them guys are saying, if all they remember me for is catches and yards, man, I've done a disservice. I want to be remembered for what I did for the next generation, and hopefully they'll continue that legacy.
For sure. We're talking to Ben Troop this morning, former Titans tight end. Troop, on the other side of things, man, I don't think we've talked to you since Coach Robert Saleh has been hired here, man. What has been your mindset on just some of the news and the conversations you've come out about him, and what do you think it means for a guy like himself, too, that's getting a second opportunity at this head coaching gig, man, for the Tennessee Titans?
I loved it. I mean, Coach Seeley was going to be a guy that was on a lot of people's radars. You got a guy that comes with a pedigree, not just from the defensive side of the ball, even though I know he's going to be calling the defense with the Titans, but he did get a second chance, and he said, I want Nashville. Yeah. I want Cam Ward. I want the AFC South, because that's what these coaches are really saying. What's the quarterback I think I can win with long term? You look at a Liam Cohen, right? Him going over, to the Jacksonville Jaguars and things like that. So I'm happy that we got him. Because from what I saw, I mean, come on, Ramon, we know this. Who gonna win with the Jets, man? Really? It's gonna be hard to win up there. And I think for him to get a second opportunity, hey, man, I was like, and he coaches with an attitude. He coaches with a swagger. I like it. I mean, obviously you could do no wrong until them live games come. But I like how he's defending Cam Ward. I don't know when people got so, highly scrutinized when it comes to OTAs and minicamp. Like, but hey, did you see Cam Ward running for his life for 2025? And he made it. You see what I'm saying? So I love the fact that we have him, and you got a guy that you don't have to put up his resume. The whole NFL know who he was. He ain't a coach's son, which ain't nothing wrong with that. He ain't a legacy guy. He's the guy that knows ball. And hey, man, I know that Jeffery Simmons. I mean, I know he got a lot richer. And I know he's loving the fact you get a Coach Seeley. If Coach Seeley can't get you right, hey, man, you might be playing the wrong side of the ball. This dude don't do nothing but ball as far as like that defensive side. I hope our defense can carry our offense a little bit till that offense get going.
Talking with Ben Troop, former tight end for your Tennessee Titans on the line. Ben, let's talk about tight ends as it pertains to the Titans this year. They bring in Kylan Granson, the 6-year man out of SMU who has very capable hands. Jaron Canick they used with their last draft pick this year, the converted linebacker from Oklahoma. And then they bring in Daniel Bellinger from New York, Joel Wilson they also have, and then obviously Gunnar Helm, the top one of their top picks last year. What do you I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. David Martin Robinson also in that group and working his way into things. What is your assessment of this tight end group now that Chigakonkwo is in Washington and here is Gunnar Helm and company?
It's going to be open competition. I mean, to have that many tight ends on the roster right now means we're going to find the best two, definitely the top three. And you got guys that got different skill sets. No one guy they got in the building is the same, which is what you want. I really wanted Chiggs to re-sign. I thought they were going to re-sign him, but I think the Titans just want to go new. I know they got, you mentioned 100 different guys, but I think what I see from the tight end position is this. If those guys don't want to be impact players, you got a lot of receivers that will. If you do not want to be a part of this passing game, they won't miss you because there's so many guys at the receiver position that want to get in the mix. But I think with this offensive approach, the Titans, and yes, I'm biased, but the Titans are at their best when the tight ends are contributing. Ain't gonna be no more Delaney Walkers. That's not gonna happen. I don't think that's fair to any tight end coming in this room with what Delaney could do. But can you have Delaney Walker production with 2 or 3 guys? Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that any day. Plus, like I said, with the AFC South and the tight end position, I just want our tight ends to be contributors, week in and week out. I don't want to have a breakout game, week 4, and then you don't hear from us again until week 9. It can't be that. You need consistency there. Plus, Cam Ward, I know he got a big arm, but the guy to get open the quickest because we run the shortest routes will be the use and the wise. So I hope those guys want to help Cam Ward and you too. They got a plethora of guys to pick from, though.
That's fascinating you say that because, True, that's kind of what I want to ask you about, too. How does a tight end refine and define his role? You said the guys that's closest to the line of scrimmage that can get open. How do you kind of build that skill set up, Troop, as we're watching Gunnar Helm and Daniel Bellinger and, a lot of these other young guys trying to find out where the ball is going to go? Because you legitimately have 5 wide receivers on this team that are going to ask for the ball. You got 2 of these guys that's already got paid, and you got the 4th overall pick in Carnell Tate as well. How does a tight end find his role, Troop, if this was you with the 2026 Tennessee Titans?
Oh, man, back when I played, they call it the double Ds, man, durability and dependability, period. Like, if you durable and you dependable, man, they looking for you. And because you know how it is, Ramon, they trying to make it simple, giving them double Ds. Be durable means you playing every Sunday. And be dependable. Dependable means I don't want to ball out in the first half and I got goals. I want to make catches to extend first downs and touchdowns. And I want more first downs than I'm obviously getting. And when it comes to a tight end now, it's so much more pressure on these tight ends for the Titans because of what the tight end position as a whole is doing. So, hey, nowadays they bringing you in because they want you to catch passes. Be durable, be dependable, and I believe that as long as you're doing those things, you're gonna be a help. You won't be a guy that have to start on special teams to be that third tight end to make the roster. I mean, to make the dress squad. But yeah, be durable, be dependable, and listen and look Cam Ward in his face for every game. Hey, Cam, I'm here. Look, you see me? You have to do that, and because sometimes that reminder. Look. I mean, let me tell you something. If you've ever played basketball at a YMCA or at a LA Fitness, sometimes to get a run, you got to come. Yo, who got next? Y'all see? I'm next. You got to let people know, and I hopefully those tight ends have that. Listen, be confidently humble. Be a humble dude, but be confident in your ability. You're an NFL player. Look at Cam and hey, yo, Cam. I know you got a bunch of guys, right? Tate, and I know really to cut his hair. Yeah. I'm here. I'm just saying, I'm here.
That was good. I'm taking that one. I'm taking the double D's one, just so you know, okay? And I'm
hey, man, that's what they told us back in the day, man.
Hey, Ben Troop, take care of yourself. Thank you for joining us this morning, man. Take care where you are down there in Cricket Land, okay?
We won't be long next time, Troop. You coming on sooner.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, Ramon, you listen, my phone number won't change. I might not get a signal, but the number is still the same. Hit me up, man, anytime you need me, man. We are one and the same, my brother.
All right, Ben. Man. Have a good one.
Double D's.
I'm here. He was here. That was Ben Troop at Ben Troop 84 on X.
That's good stuff.
Never a dull moment with that guy for sure.
Man, what a good soul.
And just full of energy. Always was, always will be.
God,
full of energy.
Soul, man.
I'm here.
He's right. He's so right. How do you get noticed? You might have to be a pest. It might have to be Gracie, your daughter. Dad, when we going? Dad, are we leaving? When are we going? Because you might just want to chill for the evening. And she's forcing you to think about taking her to the store.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. I think Daniel Bellinger and Gunnar Helm are going to be the answers to what he's talking about. Like, can you have a couple of those with high numbers?
Yeah.
I think that's a chance there, in addition to the receivers.
Sure, man. Weapons and options, right?
Steve McNair had Frank Wycheck, and listen, there's plenty of options for Cam Ward. That's the bottom line in this. And the bottom line in this is this hour 3 of program is over. Hour 4, the fourth quarter of Ramon and Will on a Monday. Brett Bryan filling in for Will Bowling with Ramon Foster continues next on 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster from Medical House Calls. Good people, if you're in a position where you feel like you just need a booster, man, you're feeling a little bit under the weather, you feel that sinus coming in, and you're just trying to figure out what's going on with you. I'll be honest with you, you're kind of scared to go to the doctor, to the urgent care, because you're not sure what you're going to hear, and you'll be in an uncomfortable spot, and you got to walk out with the embarrassing face. Well, here's what I'm telling you. Medical House Calls solves all of those problems that you have, that anxiety that you feel, because they're available to you 7 days a week. It is healthcare designed for your life. From 7 a.m. is their time to 8 p.m. Same day appointments are available to you or next day guaranteed. And the process is very simple. You can call or text a Medical House Calls, and their team will assess what you need within minutes. Then you'll book your visit, and after quick call, they will schedule your visit to show up where you at. Medical House Calls, they will provide door delivery care that gets you back to you ASAP, man. For a small fee, okay, you get an evaluation, full exam, treatment plan, and prescriptions if you need it, and you never have to leave the house again. The website is medicalhousecalls.com. You can call or text them at 615-838-2375.
9:03, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. On Friday, the Titans and All-Pro defensive tackle Jeffery Simmons agreed to a 3-year, $105.8 million deal with $100 million guaranteed, makes him the highest-paid defensive tackle in NFL history. Jeffery Simmons turned 29 in July and had a career-high 11 sacks last season, which ranked first amongst all defensive tackles. Simmons will stay in Tennessee through 2030. The Men's College World Series is headed to a winner-takes-all Game 3 tonight in Omaha as North Carolina, Oklahoma each won over the weekend. First pitch tonight is at 6 o'clock on ESPN. And in the World Cup, the U.S. shut out Australia Friday 2-0, and they officially win Group D. They advance to the knockout stage for the second consecutive World Cup, though an opponent has not yet been set. The U.S. will play Turkey this Thursday at 9 p.m. at SoFi Stadium in their final group stage match. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
All four fingers up for the fourth quarter. Ramon and Will.
Yes, sir.
1045 The Zone. I am not Will Bowling. Will Bowling returns tomorrow. I'm Rhett Bryan of Titans Radio and of 1045 The Zone and of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and of Oakland High School, class of 1989. I just keep going.
Keep going. Shout out. Shout out to all of those entities, Rhett.
Oh, gosh. It's been a fun show, man. It's gone quick. Gone really quick.
Hour real fast. All I'm thinking of, that workout is waiting on me.
Let's go to the phones here. Titanomics is on the line, been waiting patiently, wants to talk about the roster, I believe. What's up?
What up?
Good morning, gentlemen. Rhett, pleasure to talk to you.
Same.
Ramon, love you, brother.
Appreciate you.
And then also, Jayhawk, congratulations on the baby, man.
Oh, man, appreciate you.
Yeah, I didn't even know you guys were expecting. I'm busy throughout the morning, so I barely get a chance to listen. But quick question, guys. With the roster moves that we've had, I know we got a few offensive linemen that just came in. What are your biggest concerns on the roster that we have right now? Defense, offense, whatever position.
All right, Titanomics. Thanks for the call, sir. Excellent question. I'll defer to you, sir.
Biggest concern is where we started, I feel like, the last 3 years in a row. I think there's a lot of bodies. What's the quality of offensive line play? That's where we're starting. We'll go right guard, specifically there.
Yep.
We're new to Austin Sloatman. What does that actually look like as well? And I got a little bit of side eye to the reserve tackles. I want to see what Austin Deckles is going to look like. I want to see if Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon takes that step too, because injuries will happen on that offensive line. If they make it the full 17 regular season, beautiful. Absolutely amazing, Rhett. But if JC's out for a game, he had the hip last year. Nobody expected JC to be injured. What is Austin Deckles or Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon going to look like, and who's going to win? And who's going to win the starting position at right guard?
No, I would.
That's my concern.
I would underline that. I would say that would be the place that I wouldn't necessarily throw concern in there as the word, but just that I've got on the radar of we are observing closely.
Oh, yep, I would say so.
Yeah.
You fall in that same boat too, Rhett?
I do. And a couple other things, like I want to see how the wide receiving stuff works on the back end. Running back group, same thing. I've got an eye on the secondary. Okay. I want to see everybody suited up and rolling and seeing everything, because they put a lot of assets into that level of the defense, as they should.
Yes.
And I wouldn't tab it as a concern, but there's a lot of youth in a lot of places on this football team. And that's what happens when you win 6 games in 2 years and you have high draft picks and you have money under the salary cap.
Sure.
The offensive line probably is the main focus for right now.
Yeah.
That would be me as well.
And it's not because I'm a former offensive lineman.
No. You just happen to be a guy who played it for 11 years. That's just, you're answering his Titanomics' question, and you answered it honestly, and I would tend to agree.
Yeah, and I know it's just been a main conversation for a few years. And the other part of that conversation, we'll get to a point to where this isn't not even a conversation at all at some point. But they're still building. I think that is kind of smart, kind of lay out to the fans too, is they're still building this thing up. And I think they're in a good spot with having with Peter being where he is.
Yes.
JC's this third-year jump that I always speak about. He's about to hit into that phase. When you look at also Dan Moore, like, okay, Dan, big year for you as well. He's a proven veteran in this league. What levels of the game can you elevate yourself for even more, too? And I think, too, in defense of him, he wasn't as bad as I think it was stated last year as well, too. There was some moments playing with a rookie quarterback, offense disjointed. They kind of go in there, too.
And I want to see Austin Schlottman now in – I'm not giving him or saying he's awarded the starting center job, but I do believe that to be his.
No doubt.
And I want to see him now because that's in a role he has not been in. He's not been a full-time starter. He's been a starter in spots and places, including last year for the New York Giants. But I'm interested to see that. And, yeah, it's a whole new regime. It's a whole new offense. It's a new offensive line coach. And Carmen Brasillo. There's a lot of new to this stuff. And, yeah, I'm interested in the Jackson Slater, Cordell Volson of it all at right guard. I would 100% agree with that part.
I'm also interested to see how the young guys compete this year. When we look at just the young draft picks that are coming into it, how Coach Sala employed them to go out and get it this offseason. Specifically, let's start with Carnell Tate. That is going to be a fascinating study, I think, in training camp. Not in a scientific way, but how they attack him. Does he go break down somebody starting a cornerback on the other side in these preseason games and the route running that I feel like we've seen – the carryover, the conversation, him proving, if I can just be petty for a minute, Red, I hope you don't mind me being petty for a second.
Petty all you want.
Him proving Malik Neighbors wrong. Malik Neighbors goes out on the stream and he's never been a number one wide receiver. Yeah, that's cool. But if T. Higgins had the opportunity and Cincinnati didn't pay him, he would be a number one wide receiver. Like, you saying that, I don't think held much stock, if you get what I'm saying. Like, every wide receiver's got a guy on this roster that's complimentary to him. It just so happens that Carnell Tate had Jeremiah Smith on his team, and that young fella's pretty eccentric himself. And Carnell, when asked in camp or asked at Ohio State, he delivered the goods too. So I kind of want to prove, not necessarily prove Malik Neighbors wrong, but that conversation shouldn't have been public like that.
Well, I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna be in the petty ditch with you here. Because of what you just outlined, knowing that Carnell Tate, if you're the number 4 overall pick, you're the number 1 receiver. That's just what that's going to be. But there's a lot of people that believe that Calvin Ridley was a 1 here in Tennessee, that he's not a 1 by nature.
Right.
This allows him to be the best Calvin Ridley he can be. That part is exciting.
I agree.
Like, I think 0 is going to help. And I think 0 is not going to disappoint just because I know there's only one ball and there's 11 guys on offense. I get that. But I think this puts him sets him up in a place for success.
It does.
Because, listen, what a better guy to learn from for Carnell too.
Seriously. He's been through the ups and downs. He's understood what it means to ascend up to a number 1 wide receiver because the year before he got here with the Titans, like, he was the Jaguars' number 1 guy. You saw what he looked like coming off the suspension side of it too, and he's an elite route runner. Like, that's the side of it I don't think Calvin Ridley will ever be selfish about, is trying to coach up and teach Carnell the tricks of the trade, and even so, looking at Wandale the same way, like how you at your size get as open as you do. Like, I know short area quickness is a part of his game, and he was just born with that. But there are tricks of the trade. How do you lean in to go back out? How do you step on the DB's toes to get open before you make your breaks? How do you hide your reps? Like, Carnell's around some veteran guys this year, probably more so than he's ever have been in his career in football. And this is a bonus for him. It's a matter of watching him grow up. And as Ben Troop said when we had him on a second ago, hey, hi, I'm over here. I'm here.
Well, the learning thing for him, I went back and around the draft process and read an article that was written about him a while back at Ohio State. And he said, he was behind such a log jam of talent because it is Ohio State, for heaven's sakes. He said, all right, I'm going to be the best blocker for the run game that I can be. I'm going to embrace something in this as my role and keep moving forward. And so the fact that he was willing to do dirty work like that, that's kind of what I believe the DNA of a Titan is you're not afraid to get your hands dirty.
No doubt.
And so he has some, even though it's not at this level, he has college perspective in a big program of, okay, I haven't been the guy, but how do I do it when I am the guy? You're about to find that out. Well, about to learn it.
And the I guess the cool part for him on Carnell at this point is he does come in with that 4th overall pick attached to him. So the idea that he needs to be involved is, it's necessary. And Cam knows that. And this could be Cam's opportunity to build a real relationship the way you see the Hall of Fame quarterbacks do with their quarterbacks, like Marvin Harrison, Peyton Manning, right? We look at those situations and say, yep, that makes sense. We're watching, of course, Matthew Stafford build up one with Puka Nacua, right? We saw Devontae Adams with Aaron Rodgers. Like, we can name the guys and quarterbacks that had their dudes. This could be a great opportunity for Cam to kind of build up Carnell for future references for time to come.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break. When we come back, let's recap some headlines of the morning. We haven't even talked about this. The NBA draft is tomorrow night, first round of that, and a second round on Wednesday. And there is buzz around the world of the NBA as it pertains to trades and max contract type players. That Big Jeff gets paid. We'll even talk about a nice piece that the Athletic did about some of the NFL teams' best and worst uniforms in franchise history. It's just some whimsical part of the show as we finish up the 4th hour. That's Ramon and Will you're listening to here on 104.5 The Zone. Here comes Ramon and Will. 1045 The Zone. Will Bowling back in the saddle tomorrow.
Right back at it.
Rhett Bryan this morning filling in for him with the big man over there, Ramon Foster. Mm-hmm. Justin Hawkins back there making everything work. Somebody must have heard us talking about tease of the NBA draft happening tomorrow night at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, because here's some breaking news. You know it's big if Adam Schefter's tweeting about NBA stuff. Michigan head coach Dusty May is finalizing a deal to take the Dallas Mavericks head coaching job. Sources tell Pete Thamel, Shams, and me. He said May led Michigan basketball to the national title in April. The allure of coaching Cooper Flagg as a linchpin piece helped draw him to the Dallas Mavericks. So we hadn't even gotten to the NBA draft, which usually has its own set of fireworks, and then we have a major coaching change that changes a program in college and then has an effect on one in the National Basketball Association.
It does, man. And I mean, just defending champs, that's number one. I mean, that's first and foremost, man. But also you look at him and how he was able to bring in these transfer portal guys, man, that he's worked on to bring in and how that affects them moving forward. And now those guys have the ability to hop into the portal and kind of move around. He also was one of the last ones, if I'm not mistaken, to sign his contract extension that Michigan had out there a little bit too. It's like, okay, I'm just waiting on it. It's kind of the way it was painted. Now we get why he was waiting on this situation to sign and commit to Michigan long term, because these types of deals are long standing. Like Dallas firing their coach, the decision to, do I come back? What can Michigan do to keep him around, and et cetera, that kind of goes into it. This is the side of, people talking about the transfer portal. It's like, yeah, cool. But, like, there's the other side where coaches can leave in the transfer portal essentially. And winning the national championship kind of puts you in a different realm, especially if you're looking for the next thing. And that's where they are right now with Michigan basketball, with what they've done now about Dusty May leaving. That's tough.
That's a big headline.
What a good team that was, too, man.
Yes, indeed. And think about it, that was the first part of April, national champ. I mean, it hadn't been that many weeks ago.
No.
So, in the time that's transpired between now and then, you're right. It takes a while to iron those details out and to do those things if you're going to make a move. So that is a shot heard around the world as it pertains to college basketball and the NBA. Wow. And the other thing that, is the big story, certainly there's all kinds of draft night trades with the NBA draft. I'm fascinated by the NBA draft a lot like I am the NFL draft, because you always see guys go up, get their hat, whatever. Next thing you know, he's wore 3 different hats by the time the night's over because he's been traded 3 times, twice or whatever. That's the wild part about it to me. But the big trade rumors and talk is that Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo is about to be moved just prior to the draft. And Boston Celtics have been mentioned. Miami Heat have been mentioned. Boston appears to be the destination from what people are dialing in on.
They look like they're going to put all their cards on the table right here. There's possible with Brian Windhorst, who is a NBA insider, has mentioned the fact that Jaylen Brown could be part of this trade, which could be the deal breaker to send him to Milwaukee to facilitate this trade, which would be huge. We're talking to Ramon a little bit about it. I don't know how much this trade would impact the Celtics, because you're trading away a very important piece on the Boston Celtics just to bring in he's one of the faces of the NBA, mind you, but Jaylen Brown is a really good defensive player, and that's a big piece on that side of the ball that you're going to miss out on. And Giannis is really good in his own right. He's good with block shots. He can get you really good rebounds. He's a good weapon, and he's good on the offensive side of the ball as well. But keeping Jaylen Brown, I feel like, would be a bigger piece in that big 3 now versus trading him. But Jaylen Brown going to Milwaukee would be a really big facilitator.
But you need that type of player to be traded away, though, just simply because Giannis Antetokounmpo going over to Boston.
You need a big piece of part of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. You need a big piece of it.
It can't just be first-round picks.
No, it cannot.
It'd be like 5.
Giannis is a world champion. So is Jaylen Brown as well. Like, these guys, good move, but I think it signifies more with where Giannis is as well. Like, Giannis has gotten a championship. And he's an international guy. He's Greek. He's from Greece. And that's been a part of his game. And I know the conversation has been, does Golden State go after Giannis as well? Do the Lakers go after Giannis? And he's searching for that Steph Curry, that LeBron James, that the NBA superstars that have the world stage. Giannis is looking for the market in the United States. I think that's going to give him that. No disrespect to Milwaukee or Green Bay in general, but those two franchises aren't the biggest. You want to talk about Boston. You want to talk about, look what Jalen Brunson is now to the New York Knicks. You know, we want to talk about L.A., even Golden State at this point. Like, those big premier teams is what a guy like Giannis is looking for. And again, I'm sure there's a lot of ins and outs in the commitment to him in which they feel like he can get them over the edge. But this Boston group you mentioned, if they do get Giannis, they still have, of course, Jason Tatum, and then Ron Harper Jr. is a young talent on that team as well. They got some pieces, and this is, again, I think is what the Knicks have done with a big market. I think you're going to see other teams. It wouldn't shock me if the Lakers made a big move on Miami in trades and signings to get their name back up on the world market like that again. And real quick, a Vol connection. The draft is tomorrow night. I went through ESPN's mock draft. Yeah. Speaking of Dustin May going to the Dallas Mavericks with Cooper Flagg, well, that's where Nate Ament, as of yesterday's last mock draft, was him going 8 or 9. 9 to the Mavericks as well. So it was smart on leaving. It's 9 to the Mavericks is where they got Nate going. Him paired up with Cooper Flagg could be a good addition for him.
Is that the first time he's projected to go top 10?
No, he's been projected top 10 for a while.
Is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he has.
Because prior there was like 11, 12, 10.
Yeah, no.
Something like that.
It's been 7. He's dropped according to where I saw. It was 8 to Atlanta.
Okay.
It's where he's been played the entire time. It's almost the same as Darius Acuff Jr. He's been pegged to go to the Sacramento Kings for months. And the cool part about it is Darius Acuff Jr. wants to be in Sacramento, which nobody speaks about Kings basketball. He wants to go there, Red. You know?
I'm sorry, that just hit me, buddy. But it's true.
It's true. When was the last time you heard somebody brag about Sacramento Kings?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Not since White Chocolate. Jason Williams back in the day, right?
And
Chris Webber.
Mike Bibby back there. You're right.
Oh, Bibby.
Tell me one, Hawk. Sacramento Kings player.
I can't. Not even Boogie wanted to go there.
You see what I'm saying? And it's in California, of all places. Like, you want to be on the West Coast, but Darius Acuff Jr., the Arkansas point guard, wants to go there.
So I always look at, again, I have a curiosity with the NBA draft, and I do at least watch a good chunk of the first round. Washington Wizards won the NBA lottery. Mm-hmm. Memphis is picking currently 3rd. But, Cameron Boozer from Duke is one of the big 4 prospects. Caleb Wilson from North Carolina. Obviously, Darren Peterson from Kansas. Mm-hmm. You mentioned a couple of the other fellas. I'm always intrigued by that event. And I think it's interesting to me how they just chopped it up into 2 nights. They're like, oh, you know what? The NFL does this. Let's do it too. And I'm like, it's only 2 rounds, fellas, but okay.
They're going to get it all, right?
We're going to get every bit of it.
We're going to get every bit of it, man.
Have you ever watched the second round?
Not under this current format, but I've watched the entire NBA draft before.
Twitter
it's
alerts.
awful.
Yeah. What do you mean it's awful?
It's not a product you want to watch.
Okay.
It's not. Yeah. Well,
it's worse. Honestly, it's worse than watching the 7th round of the NFL draft.
Hey, man.
Now, wait a minute.
Come on,
man. No, that's not even disrespect. That's disrespect to the NBA.
Are we talking sound up or sound down, though?
It is, man. It's disrespect.
Because sound down, I can, I just followed. Oh, okay.
I actually enjoy watching the 7th round.
We had this guy.
I'm not trying to disparage that. I'm just saying the second round of the NBA draft.
Crawfishing. He's crawfishing a little bit.
Is he in the mud? He's going back into the
I actually enjoy it.
I do enjoy it.
He got me a cramp, Hawk.
Got a stitch.
Golly, man. I will throw this out there too, man. We're very pro-American in this. And I know for a while, a lot of people that consume NBA basketball from the sidelines and not really watching, I think the narrative was there. The international players took over. I won't say took over. They were highlighted more in the NBA draft. and the insertion of new players into the league. From this mock right here, the first 10, if I'm not mistaken, are
playing college basketball in the United States
of America. I think you got to get all the way to number 11 before you go international at all. And they're all American players as well as I think we were looking at Wemby in Paris. Wemby in France. And just think that the international players are going to take over the game in the NBA. It's not the case.
No, and listen, there's been cyclical influxes of those over the years. Like I was a much bigger fan of the NBA 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But I'm an older head too. But when I first started to see the influx of those, when Arvydas Sabonis, a 7-footer's lighting up threes in Portland, that got my attention. Yeah. And I mentioned him in the last few days on this show. I remember when Drazen Petrovic came over from Europe, and unfortunately his life was taken into car wreck. He was a good ball player. There's been some really good. Tony Kukoc.
Yes, Tony Kukoc.
But
Dikembe Mutombo's in this.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Seriously, R.I.P.
Bingo.
Absolutely.
So they've got their place and all of that, but I feel like the NBA is more interesting from our perspective here in the 50 states. When it's like, oh, yeah, I remember him at Duke, and I remember him at North Carolina, I remember him at Kansas, and whereas, it got so much with the European influx, you're like, who's this guy?
Like they were drafting guys, and they didn't even really play or really took off.
Wait a minute. You played in the triangle offense. What are you doing, man?
Yeah, no doubt. So
I never heard of this fella.
For sure.
Now your brother, he might have known all of them.
Easily. And we will not disparage the basketball community.
No, we will not.
But that's a good look for Nate, because I think a lot of people question it. Nate Ament, a lot of people question him leaving. And the Vols this year is like he should come back. And I do think there was a strong conversation about Nate wanting to come back personally to the University of Tennessee. He wanted to do college again. This is why he's not doing it now. Being a lottery pick, number 8 overall, holds a whole lot. Number 8 or 9 overall.
Sure.
It holds a lot of stock, man. And being able to be coached by Dusty May is a good place. In Dallas, Mark Cuban takes care of his guys. No, Mark's not the owner anymore, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
He's, I think, minority still. But, yeah, good look for him if he is able to go to Dallas.
Other headlines that we have not touched on, first of all, men's Team USA in World Cup. They're 2-0 after a 2-0 victory last Friday over Australia. And without Christian Pulisic, their top guy, they handled their business. They take on Turkey Thursday night. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. I appreciate the input. He's like,
Thursday at 9.
I'm trying to
tee him up right here, man.
I wasn't trying to interrupt you. No, yeah, look, U.S. plays Turkey on Thursday night at 9 o'clock in SoFi Stadium. They're probably going to be without Pulisic again because at this point, they've already advanced to the group stage. They're doing that for the second straight World Cup, which is really good for them. This field is a little bit saturated with 48 teams compared to the previous 32 teams.
Correct.
There's really no risk in playing him because right now you're just looking for a positive result, and I don't think you necessarily need him with that because look what you just did against Australia. You're having a really good forward play. They're playing fast. They're playing physical. They're playing really good just team soccer over there. And Folarin Balogun, I don't know if I'm saying that right.
It don't matter. It sounded right to me.
It sounded right to me as well.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go with it. All right.
If it's an NFL player, I'd be like, no, it's this.
So he had eligibility to play for both the U.S. and England and chose to play for England.
Okay.
The U.S.
Yeah.
And so he's playing fantastic World Cup soccer. And, there's about 6 different teams that the U.S. could face in their knockout stage of the group of 32. It's the third place teams from like 4 different stages. So,
but there's the thought growing that they could make the field of 16.
Yeah, they have a really good shot of playing some lower quality teams in this round of 32, moving to the quarterfinals or the round of 16, which is where they've done previously. They just don't really get further than that. But yeah, there's some really good. They just haven't faced a lot of good superior competition. Is where I think you can gauge their quality of play.
Gotcha.
Which is this a shocker that they're making? Like, and here's the other part too, as far as Thursday concerned, they made it out of the group by winning 2 games. Correct, Hawk?
Yep. They lead the stage by there's 6 points to everybody else has 3 or 0. But the way that the U.S. it's not super surprising. I think what's more surprising is the fact that Turkey was supposed to be challenging the U.S. for the winner of the Group D, and they're already eliminated. They lost their first 2 games.
Correct.
So this game really doesn't really matter. It just helps the U.S.'s standpoint and momentum going into the next
Do you push
round.
it still, though? Like, do you keep momentum, Hawk, or do you rest up?
Oh, yeah, you don't let him go. The only one you're going to rest is Pulisic, because what does it really change things? You already saw that you can win without him. Why force him back in there if he's not fully ready with these soft tissue injuries that they go through? Just let your best player sit for just a minute and go play when it really matters. Because, like I said, this game doesn't really matter. The U.S. has already moved on. Turkey is already out.
Let me ask this too then, if that's the case. I guess the reputation or the perception of USA soccer is not England. It's not Brazil.
Yeah.
It's not France.
They still have a lot.
Do they have – my point is, you saying it doesn't matter. Does the USA have enough stock to say, we'll just lose one? Or everything they do right now, we do as a nation, needs to be proven that we belong?
Okay, so don't get my words confused when talking about that. Yes, of course, it's very important to keep your momentum and continue to win.
Gotcha.
I'm just saying in terms of like Christian Pulisic, your best player doesn't have to play this one. Mm-hmm. But as far as everything else, everything goes. You play hard. You play the same type of soccer that you've played. You start from the defense and you work your way up because you have some really good forwards that are playing very well, very good on the attack. You keep that going. I'm just saying as far as your midfield play where Pulisic is suffering through this, I think it's a hamstring injury is what he's going through.
Wow.
It's not super important for him to play.
I heard left calf, but it's some soft tissue on the left leg.
Yeah, it is soft tissue. I couldn't remember exactly what it is. Yeah.
And this has been your World Cup update with Jayhawk.
Hey.
And then one thing we have been touching on as we get ready to head to the last break here, Jeffery Simmons gets a third contract, and as Coach Mack would say, well earned. $100 million guaranteed, first D tackle in NFL history to do that. And when you just look at his numbers just from last year, which was a career year for him, among defensive tackles in the NFL per Next Gen Stats, 11 sacks, first, 60 quarterback pressures, first, 13.9 pressure rate, first. 18 pressures after a double team, first. 5 turnovers caused by pressure, first. 7.5 of his 11 sacks on third down, first.
Killing it.
Absolutely killing it.
A lot of offensive line bodies on his way. I still can't get over that Houston Texans, who was it, center, that just chose not to block him on that play. Like, if you scared, then just say you scared. Okay, that's the way I look at it.
He was there. It's like he intercepted the ball. It was unbelievable.
It was. And by the way, too, I think it's super unique. I just found this little nugget, man, going into our Titans radio broadcast this fall. You know the number of active games Jeffery Simmons will be in by the time we start the season off? It'll be his 100th game. Won't be his 100th start. I wonder which one means the most to him, 100 games or the 100th start. He's at a 99 games active in the NFL.
And every one of them was a problem.
He got 97 starts. That's a cool little nugget. I remember getting to 100 starts was by far one of the coolest things ever.
It is definitely a milestone.
Yes, it is.
This is a poor correlation, but when you have a sitcom or a television program that hits 100 episodes, that automatically puts you in contention for syndication.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. Yeah, when you get to that mark is usually the syndication to get that mailbox residual money. But 100, so week 1 at Nissan Stadium, 100 game.
Look at that.
Game 100 for Jeffery Simmons.
100 games and a $100 million contract on top of it.
The hundreds have it.
Couldn't have written it even better, Rhett.
On the way, let's talk about something fun that The Athletic did. Jacob Robinson put this piece together last week. What's every NFL team's best and worst uniform in franchise history? We'll talk about what they discovered, the best and worst uniforms in Titans and some of the other teams around the league as we wrap up Hour 4 and the Monday edition of Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone. Guess it'd be good if I put my headphones on to finish up Ramon and Will on 1045 The Zone for a Monday. Rhett Bryant in for Will Bowling. Reminder, he is back in this chair tomorrow morning. Fresh from a wedding that involved him.
From life.
Yeah. What I say? He got a life assignment.
Life assignment is where he's been. That's so real, man.
Oh, I'm happy for him.
Can't wait to hear the stories behind this.
Yeah, him and Peyton.
Peyton Bowling.
Peyton.
Now here comes the other hard part. Now is going to the courthouse, changing all documents and everything else. Passports. What is passports? Passport.
I don't know. Maybe it's your past Porsches.
Maybe.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, give me a 911. But all of that paperwork got to get done sooner or later. That's all.
That is part of what the young folks call adulting. That's just what that is.
Welcome.
So this is, I've been teased this hour. Jacob Robinson of The Athletic, they do some really cool and what I would call whimsical articles in The Athletic. And it's perfect for this time of the year, considering we were waiting to try to get back to real football. And he did a really nice piece here on what's every NFL team's best and worst uniform in franchise history. And, of course, some of those, you can almost guess what they are.
Yes.
I was interested to see, I was not surprised at all to see that when he got to the Titans part, the Houston Oilers were the coolest and the best. I'm like, that makes total sense. But the worst, and I don't know how he came to these conclusions, but was the uniform they've just moved away from that they used for the last 5-6 years.
I didn't get that. Maybe it was the light blue pants, I guess, with the dark blue bottom. I
always thought those were okay. However, once I saw the new ones, I realized how aged they were.
Yeah, I get that.
For example, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, no question. The creamsicles are the cool uniforms. And he had the worst ones as the ones they just got away from about 4 or 5 years ago. He called them the alarm clock letters, numerals on there.
What you're talking about.
I wasn't a fan of those at all.
For sure.
Your old team, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I knew it.
He had the worst ones he had was the Bumblebee uniforms from back in the 30s, I guess?
Yeah, in the 30s. We wore them as a throwback a couple of times as well. I liked them because they were new.
Different.
It was different.
It's different.
That's what it was.
And I think those kinds of things from a historical perspective should be thrown out.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's not modern day NFL football, as in most everybody consider the modern era of football is 1970 after the merger.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't help it if they wore bumblebees.
Oh, absolutely not. And they wanted to pay a little homage to it. The worst jersey in general, I'm scrolling through right now just to take a gander at it. It has to be the Green Bay Packers. Let me get the actual year, and you guys know what I'm talking about too when I say it. But is like the mustard green, if I'm not mistaken, and blue, whichever color that was. It was the blue with the gold circle in the middle of the jersey with the numbers inside of it, with the brown helmet, with the tan pants. That was hideous to me.
Yeah.
That was absolutely hideous to me. I did not like that one, but I get it. They paid homage to an older era for themselves. I didn't also realize that the Denver Broncos were a team that were gold and brown back in the day.
Yes, that is true.
Looked like the Wyoming Cowboys.
Well, here's the thing. If you're going Broncos, the old 70s Orange Crush defense, like that stuff just doesn't get any better. And when you're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, the Kelly Greens, that's a hit. That's just a hit. Jacksonville, it said best one were their home debut home uniforms that they wore through 2008. That's still, I think, the best one. The worst ones were, he said, the blended hues from 2013 to 2017, which had those horrific color rush Thursday night games.
Black to gold fading on it?
It's an ombre, I think, is what you call that. But it's like, dude, you ran out of spray paint. Like, what happened? I always thought those were ugly as you know what. Yeah. Like, just awful.
Remember those Eagles old blue and gold ones?
The old Eagles blue and
from
gold?
back in the same, 30s or 40s.
Yeah, that was an ugly one as well.
I think they unfairly did the Houston Texans, though. They got their all reds as the worst jersey for them. I'll be honest with you. That Texas, what is it, the City Connect one that I guess they got with the H-Town on it? Yeah. That's the worst one to me. I don't think Houston needs to play in all black. Not that one. They got to find a better color scheme if they're going to go all black.
Yeah. I'm not fond of that one. The red one, I didn't have a problem with either.
Yeah, the all reds is awesome. Absolutely awesome, man.
See, what do they say about the Raiders here? The Raiders, the best were the home uniforms, silver and black.
Silver black.
And the worst were the color rush. He said the icy white ones. See, I like those.
I enjoyed the icy white ones, too.
I mean, that silver and black, whether you like or hate the dang Raiders, that's a bad look, man. Iconic. That's awesome.
So iconic.
Oh, my gosh. There's some badasses that wore those things over the years.
There's that part of it, too.
That music tells me it's time's up, and Will Bowling will be back here tomorrow morning with you to start a Tuesday edition of Ramon and Will.
I don't even know how I'm going to deal with him.
Well, we'll just see what Mr. Bowling has to say. Right now, we're going to step out as the Buck Rising Show begins next on 104.5 The Zone.
But remember at all times, good people, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.
Indeed.